All right. Welcome, everybody. This is a rather impromptu stream. Generally speaking, I guess, like when we usually stream, it's always usually regarding the sensible debate. But today we're not doing that. Today we're just going to be talking about the Kamala versus Trump election that's going on. And so I guess the thought that I'd like to think about is I kind of like wanted to just like go over like the various policies that they abide by, and then like I guess my positions on it, and then maybe hear from Daniel Hume as to what he thinks. He's currently not even in the United States, and I also want to hear. I'm also curious as to what other maybe perhaps audience members or people who are in chat. Ooh, sorry about that.
Oh, bless you.
But yeah, I mean, if you are interested in having a discussion, simply raise your hand. Tell me what you consider to be the best choice and why you pick it. And I'd be glad to have a debate with you, or Daniel can jump in and I'll duck out. I promise it will not be a 2v1. It looks like that you and I, Daniel, we got some videos to show, don't we? We got some videos.
Well, we do have a bit of them, yes.
Yeah. I did see you posted a lot. I think I only grabbed like 2, but they're nevertheless very good, right? The 2 that I've picked. But I would like to go over the videos that you've selected as well. Let me see if I can. I'm going to grab the ones, and I'm going to display Chrome. You guys see my Chrome? Hopefully you see my Chrome if you're on my stream right now. I'll give you my stream.com first.
Yeah, remember there's a delay between
This is true. This is true.
This is true. Discord.
I could probably start my virtual camera so y'all can see it. Give me one moment to do that. Output type, program, default. Is it, hold on a sec. I think it's...
I mean, the good thing, your Chrome is working. I can see it on stream.
Scene, I think. Yeah, scene. Sure. And I think if I display my camera, that is not the right source. Let me try that again.
You need to select another one.
Let me try that again. That says source, but that's not displaying anything. Hang tight. Let me figure this out. Okay,
there you
now
go.
Do you see it?
Yep.
It's good. Mirrored.
Yep.
Why is it mirrored?
I don't know, but it looks good.
But why is it mirrored?
I have no idea.
Why would it mirror?
It's the wonders of OBS.
All right. Let me open up.
Or Discord.
I guarantee you that's OBS and not Discord. I guarantee you. Anyway, if you want likely. It not mirrored, click go to my stream. Anyway, let's take a look at. We're gonna just take a look at some of the videos that were shared. If you guys get mad at any of these videos, I want you to start by blaming Daniel Hume. Daniel Hume is solely responsible for these.
Of course. I take sole responsibility. It's not a problem.
All right, so we're gonna go to the first one here.
Okay, do you guys, so this one is good.
Do you guys see this? Do y'all see it? I hope y'all see it.
I mean, I see it.
Okay. I think I don't have my sound properly. Give me 1 second while I figure that out. Hang tight. I'm almost certain I know what the problem is. There we go. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to hit play. Y'all can hear this? Can y'all hear that? Y'all heard nope. The gentle... Well, oh, you know what? You would not hear it because it's it's in a camera. So I think what I have to do is this. Watch. I'm gonna just share my screen, and we'll do it that way over Discord because you guys are seeing the camera, which is not going to have a sound. So we'll do this where we stream the system audio. It'll be a little janky because you're seeing my like Streamlabs, or yeah, you're seeing my OBS, but you will still be able to see the video. Anyway, let's go ahead and continue on with the video. All right.
Your turn, honey.
In the one place in America where women still have a right
I
to
actually
choose.
cannot hear it. By the
You
way.
cannot hear it? What? You can't hear that?
Oh.
Bruh. All right, hold on. So I have to hit. Huh. Let me.
I mean, you could play them
Let me-
like in a
let me-
VLC.
Let me restart. You know what? Not a bad idea. Not a bad idea. Yeah, you know what? Let's go down that route. Let's do that. We're gonna do that.
Because if you stream it in a VLC, you can still stream it on YouTube, and then you can have like
Yeah.
a separate window that is taken by Discord.
Oh my god! It's scanning for viruses. Is this a virus?
No,
Is this virus?
I hope not. It's a web.webm
Yeah.
format, so
Is this
technically it is a
virus?
virus. Yes,
Fluffy,
like whoever made that
Fluffy
format.
said he could hear it. Wait, hold on.
I mean, yeah,
Fluffy,
but
are you,
not
are
on
you
Discord.
talking about
So she
within
said-
YouTube? Yeah, within YouTube, you should be able to hear it just fine. But we're talking about just Discord. So okay, it's fine. It's fine. We got this, right? We got this. So I'm gonna just disappear Chrome. Where is my Google Chrome? Hold on. I got this. I swear I'm a professional at this, guys. I know what I'm doing. We're going to select a window
It's
capture.
always good to reassure people you
gonna
know
call
what
it
you're doing when
VLC.
things
Yes.
are not going well.
Exactly. Yes. Y'all know. You know. I don't want to capture the cursor. We're just going to avoid capturing that cursor. Or we're going to just kind of put that down here. Ish. Okay. And then I have to shrink it because this is 4K. We're just going to... I swear I know what I'm doing. I know exactly what I'm doing.
And everybody believes you.
Good. You should. All right. How's that look? Man, doesn't that look great? All right. So we
And
got
again,
it there.
like I'm saying only on
And then I'm gonna
YouTube.
stream
which-
it. Yeah.
delay.
All right. All right. Do you see the VLC? You guys all see the VLC?
Let's see.
All right. So if I
Now
hit play,
it looks good.
Your turn.
Yep.
it looks
Yep.
so weird. I don't know
Now
what
it's
the hell
good.
is going on. Now it's not working on YouTube because of VLC.
Oh man.
Hold on. I got this. Listen. We got the I'm not going to do a window capture. We're going to do a display capture, right? And it's going to be left screen. Right? That's what we're doing. All right, that's a thing. Y'all see that?
There it is.
Let's switch that to which one is it? Is it this one? Yeah, that's it. That's the one. There it is. Okay, all right. I swear, as soon as we're done setting this up, it'll be smooth sailing. All right, here we go. All right, so y'all should be able to see it on YouTube. You guys see it on YouTube? I hope so.
Yep. I see something on YouTube. I think
All
we
right.
need to shrink it though a bit
Shrink it.
on YouTube.
Is it messed up?
I mean now again the delay.
good?
The delay. Remember?
Oh, okay. Yep,
Remember
yep.
the delay.
All right, here we go. We're gonna hit play. All right, here we go.
Your turn, honey.
In the one place in America where women still have a right to choose. You can vote any way you want. And no one will ever know.
Did you make the right choice?
Sure did, honey.
Remember, what happens in the booth stays in the booth. Vote Harris
Hey,
Wallace.
yo.
Vote Common Good is responsible for the contents of this ad.
Hey, yo.
So I don't know if
You
you saw
started
this,
with
this
some
ad
fire,
before.
bro.
Okay.
That was fire.
This thing this thing, you have no idea how batshit crazy. Okay, I'm gonna tell you, Beauregard, why it's funny. It's like all the conservatives just went batshit crazy because all of them said, "Oh my God!" It's like
over that?
if your wife does this, it's like she's cheating on you. It's like what? How? How is that a thing? Why would she betray her husband's trust? It's like yeah, but in a way, a lot of people don't understand maybe some things, right? Like for example, if you're voting, there is a record of you actually having voted, right? So anybody can actually check if you actually voted or not. And I know that's true in the United States, it's true in Romania, where I live. It's a thing, okay? But what happens is like nobody knows how you voted, right?
Yeah.
The vote is secret, right?
Yeah,
The
yeah.
fact that you voted is not secret. And a lot of people maybe don't actually know that's the case. And there were these, again, there's no hard data on it, but, there were these testimonies from Harris, the Harris campaign that did phone calls to women in certain states, and they were kind of talking like very harsh and saying it's like, oh my God, I don't want my husband to hear me, but it's like I kind of like Harris and so on and so
That's
forth.
kind of
right?
sad.
And when
That's sad, isn't it? Like where you
It
have
is.
a
It is.
situation where like a significant other can't actively admit it to their significant, like, I mean, at the end of the day, right, you have to understand, I mean, at least as far as I'm aware, men are tending to vote for Trump, and I'm noticing women tend to vote for Kamala, right? I'm not saying there aren't women Trump supporters, and I'm not saying that there aren't male Kamala voters. I'm simply saying
No, it's
the
actually
general.
pretty big.
It appears to be that women are tending to vote Kamala, but that kind of makes sense, right? Because it's like, it's the women that have to deal with, for example, say an ectopic pregnancy. Those are the ones that have to deal with that. And that's not something that the man has to deal with, right? They just look at it at kind of at a surface level and just go, well, I want to preserve the right to life no matter what. And obviously to any of us, that just kind of like follows, right? Like we don't want to have
happening.
Control over these women's bodies and, and prevent medically
you and me.
necessary treatments. Yeah. Well, that's just,
You
know,
and me and
maybe
no. Yeah.
Beauregard Bo, he responded saying that he doesn't understand why that was a funny video. Curious.
No, I saw him. That's why it's like and again, there's more than that. There's like a misogyny going in, right?
Yeah.
So that's why it's like if you're listening to like a lot of these right wingers, and they're just saying it's like, oh my God, it's like how do you you are encouraging women and wives to lie, and why would a wife negate her husband's vote? It's like. They're like this weird.
Well, don't be anti-abortion. Don't want to
having.
control women's bodies. Like I don't like. If
But it's weird, right? It's like why is it not the other way around?
Well, because I mean, it's a realistic scenario. Like it would, if there was a politician that said that they were going to control my body, on the basis of a Supreme Court decision, I wouldn't like that either. And it puts me also in an especially challenging position if you have a significant other that doesn't share the same political understanding as you, or they don't have the same
abortion
political
is a
perspective.
pretty hot topic.
It is.
And I don't know if you saw the Iowa poll that came out. I think it was like yesterday. I think it's like the clip number 4 that I put in the thingy.
Yeah.
From Harris.
Oh well,
and that's
we don't want to
really
talk about any of
one.
the other clips until we get to them.
No, because they kind of these two kind of like feel like mashed together. I just put.
All right.
Numbers,
do you want me to like skip to the number 4 and then we'll discuss
I think it kind of works. Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna download
it kind of
the number
fits
4
into this one
that you got here, and then we're gonna look at that one. All right.
It's like I just love like the right wing, like they all just went batshit crazy with how can a wife negate her husband's vote? When
That's
the
pretty
other
funny.
one,
Comes
the
as we're
other,
getting that.
the reverse could be the same.
So we're going to take a look
Let's
at this
look at
next
this one.
one. This is the number 4 that you wanted to see. So here we go.
Yeah.
And it comes as we're getting that striking new poll out of Iowa. Dasha mentioned it. What can you tell us about that?
Wow, this has thrown the political world for a loop because neither party, go back here, neither party has been treating Iowa as a battleground at the presidential level. Remember, Donald Trump did incredibly well here in 16 and 20, won by more than 8 points. This would be, if this actually happened, Harris ahead by 3 over Trump in Iowa. That would be an 11-point shift for Harris in Iowa. What is the climate in Iowa? One thing that might be notable here is you look at where Harris is drawing her support from in this Des Moines Register poll. Among women, 20-point advantage over Trump. This is particularly strong for her independent women and senior women. Trump obviously doing better with men. But one thing to keep in mind in Iowa.
Yeah, so this is what you were talking about here.
Exactly.
We're observing that, this is just talking about in Iowa, but it is very clear that, it's a men versus women divide.
But it's Iowa. It's Iowa. I remember I saw like this thing where people were saying, because they were kind of looking at Iowa, because Iowa has been kind of like a state to watch in terms of like shifting in popularity and all that stuff. But nobody was expecting Harris to actually be ahead. Like people were saying, if Harris is behind by like 5 points, that's exceptionally good, right? And it kind of bodes very well for the rest of the states. And this is what kind of gives me a bit more hope than anything. So imagine when this poll came out, and not only was she not just 5 points behind, she's actually ahead of Trump in Iowa.
I am banking all of my thoughts on Alan Lichtman. You know about Alan Lichtman?
I mean, I might, because I looked at like a lot of these races, which are like kind of consequential for the entire election, basically, right? Because I know it's like we're all focusing more on like Harris Trump thingy, but yeah, there's like other Senate races that are like really consequential in the entirety of the United States, basically.
Let's see here. Jixie says that Alan Lichtman is a low key a fraud. He's changed his view on how the keys work. So the one thing that I care about regarding Alan Lichtman compared to others is his stunning track record at being able to predict elections.
Maybe.
He has,
but again, it's like he's been right.
I mean, since 1984, he's been predicting the elections in the United States, and he's been correct on every single instance, with the only exception being the 2000 election between, it was Al Gore versus George Bush. And when you have...
He was kind of right there too.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, right?
Honest.
Like he sat there and he said that the reason that he felt that his stats lost was because Florida apparently miscounted the votes. That's what he's saying, right? I can't say for sure, but if that's like his perspective, and just assuming that he's just dead wrong about that, that still leaves a 90% accuracy rating. That is a very high accuracy. That is way above statistical norm. So if you have a 90% accuracy rating, and by the way, he was correct when every single poll was saying that Hillary was going to win. He said Trump would win, and everybody said that he was crazy and that, get the heck out of here, Ellen, you're smoking something, right? Because all of the polls showed that Hillary would win. And then what happened? Hillary lost.
Yeah.
Trump won. That's what happened. And Alan Lichtman was proven correct in his model. So now we got to look at Alan Lichtman as to what his current prediction is. And his current prediction is, in fact, in favor of Kamala based on his 13 keys. I can reference this in some videos. And I also have a video that has Alan Lichtman explaining himself. Anyway, that is kind of interesting.
There's another stat by the way, it's like, and I don't know if you heard about this one, because somebody was looking at like, okay, who won presidential, the presidency of the United States, and they were looking at like, okay, let's see who was seen more favorable, who was more popular, right, in the eyes of the people than the other. And with one exception, in the history of the United States, the more popular candidate won, right? Always. And the more popular candidate right now is Kamala Harris.
You think? I mean,
That
like,
being said-
well, I know Trump is very
Yes,
popular.
she's more popular. She's
You
like
think?
a lot more popular than Trump. Yeah. No. I mean, it's not about what I
I don't
think.
know
It's
about
about
that.
like the data.
But
She is,
Okay.
and she's been like constantly like more popular. Both her and Tim Walz, they were more popular than Trump and JD Vance. I mean, JD Vance is one of the least popular VP picks ever.
yeah.
But that being said, the one time the least popular candidate won, it was actually Trump in 2016. The difference is like the difference in popularity between him and Hillary Trump was like very, very small.
Yeah.
Very small. They were like neck to neck, right? When it comes to how unpopular they actually were. So who knows? Maybe that's another thing.
That makes it's interesting. But it looks like we do have somebody that did want to speak. It looks like we have Maraxis who has raised their hand, and so we're going to let them come on up. Why don't you come on up and speak, Maraxis? What you got to say?
Yes.
Yes. Hello?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm still an undecided voter. I know on one hand, you have Harris, who she kind of supports higher taxes, and then wealthy individuals and helping like social programs or whatever. And then, but you got Trump, who's helping out like tax cuts for like businesses and higher earners. And then, on regulation and other stuff with the economy, you have Harris, who's more with supporting greater government and like workers' rights and environment and stuff. But then you got Trump, who helps with like companies that, where regulation kind of gets in the way. And, and then just social issues, you have Harris, who supports like abortion rights. And then you have Trump, who's more, just like helps to like restrict abortion access, and gun control and immigration and healthcare. You have Harris, who's kind of helping support the people. And then you have Trump, who's kind of fucking over the government. So I'm kind of split. I'm on the fence here. I'm not really sure. Is there a way you can maybe kind of convince me one side or another of how I should vote?
I mean, what would you say are some of your most important policies that you would like to have done? Like, how do you find yourself, like, typically as far as your politics?
Environment is really important. So what would be a way there?
Okay, sure. Let me see if I can pull up some quick information for you. Just give me a quick second, okay? I want to make sure that I get this information correct because it is a pretty heavy issue and there's a lot to go over. Just give me one quick second while I pull up my reference guide.
Okay.
So you said you were concerned about the environment, yes?
Yeah. Who's helping out the environment a little bit more here?
Okay. Well, we could start by talking about the green investment or the oil and gas policy. Which one would you like to speak about?
Let's do green investment.
Okay, so Harris backs continued U.S. aid to Ukraine as I'm sorry, wrong. That's my wrong card. Hang tight. I have it right here. So for the green investment, it looks like that Harris is expected to continue the push led by President Joe Biden to transition to the United States economy away from fossil fuels with tax breaks and other incentives. And she often cites a law that's called the Inflation Reduction Act, which provided billions of dollars in tax credits to help consumers purchase electric vehicles, as well as companies producing renewable energy as the type of policy that she would pursue. Trump has pledged to reverse Biden's investment green technology and electric cars, to expand oil, gas, and coal development, to scrap electric vehicle mandates, and to shrink the environmental regulation oversight. According to advisors, Trump would also pull the United States out of the landmark International Paris Agreement aimed at combating global warming again. So he had already done this early in, and I'm just curious, like, is that a deal breaker for you, I suppose?
No, I don't think that's a deal breaker.
Okay, so you're not sure whether or not you would vote Harris or Trump after.
Yeah, I still don't think that's enough. What about foreign policy? I know Harris supports international cooperation and kind of more multilateral agreements, and Trump's been more critical of international
Sure.
organizations.
Well,
He's favored a more unilateral approach of foreign policy.
There's several topics to talk about. You have Israel, Ukraine, NATO, and China.
Yeah.
Which one did you want to talk about?
I'd say Trump says he'll end the war in Ukraine, right away. That'll just help save lives. It'll help bring the conflict down really fast. He says he'll end it, pretty quick. Day one, he'll just kind of tell Putin, enough, no, and stop. And Putin really respects him, I think. So I feel like that'll help. What do you think?
Well, I think that when I'm looking at what are the interests of the United States, I think we have to consider what kind of world that we want to live in. And the thing is if I had to pick, there will always be the big dogs on the field that will basically claim their territory. And I have to ask myself, which big dog do I want? Do I want the United States or do I want Russia? Well, as far as I'm concerned, I live in the United States. I want my society to do better. So then that would be that I'm in favor of the United States. So let's say, for example, if we want to get a bit of momentary peace, knowing that we just give a land grab over to Russia, we just allow that to happen. Well, that basically allows Putin to then say, well, it worked before, I can do it again. Who's to say the next 5-10 years that doesn't go down that direction? Why wouldn't it say go after Poland? I mean, Poland is scared as heck over Russia, and it's only because of NATO that we've been able to prevent Russia from doing land grabs on its other neighbors.
Okay, yeah, I hear you, but now there's other issues. Okay, my point is that I can drop the facade. Obviously, I already voted for Kamala, but the thing is when I talk to undecided voters, when I bring up a lot of information, whether it be a lot of stuff within the economy or social issues or environment or foreign policy or whatever it may be that is kind of hitting them, it seems like it feels unauthentic when somebody says, "Yeah, I'm on the fence. I'm undecided. I'm right there." It almost feels like they'll find literally any reason to just be like, well, actually, this is where I'm going to be a single voter issue or a single issue voter, and this is where I'm going to stake my claim. And I understand, like, a lot of people have done this with Israel Palestine. I can understand it sucks on both sides that atrocities like this are happening. I think like Pete Buttigieg put it best when it's like, yeah, but literally, it sucks that we don't have ranked choice voting. In my opinion, I don't know how you feel about that.
Mm-hmm.
I would prefer to have ranked choice voting, and I'd prefer to have a system where we didn't feel pigeonholed into a two-party system. I understand that, right? I can get the sentiment. I would like to move away from that. I don't think it'll instantly happen. I think there's a transitions as time goes on, and even towards that degree, I think Kamala is a better vote regardless. But for all the people who still want to just, put themselves into the undecided, or I'm just going to, keep myself out of this, it just feels a bit ignorant. Because really, when you think about it, a non-vote for her is still a vote for Trump in many ways.
Yeah, I'm in complete agreement with you. To me, it's obvious that it's not appropriate what Donald Trump is or what he has done. There are numerous things that I've looked at. There's one of them that really just bothers me. It really bothers me to like a guttural level regarding Donald Trump. There was a tweet that he released regarding what he was going to do about moving the embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem. Are you aware of this?
No, wait. From Tel Aviv to Jerusalem. I may have seen a quick thing, but I didn't actually read into it. Can you tell me about
Okay.
it?
It happened a while ago.
This is
Yeah, I know.
a,
This
a
is
long time
something
ago.
like
This
a
is
while
during
back, but
while
I don't
Trump was
remember
still
reading into it.
president. So here's what's interesting about this, and I have no idea why more people don't talk about it. It's honestly one of the most damning things that he could have done as president ever, and nobody talks about it. So to give you an idea of what this means is that the United States has been involved in very careful diplomatic relations between the Palestinians and the Israelis for decades. I would have to, this particular instance where we had our embassy in Tel Aviv, right?
Yeah.
Now, this is important to understand because in Tel Aviv, it was relatively unoffensive. Usually countries, when they place their embassies, what they do is that they usually place it in their capital of their country. And one of the areas that is of significant dispute of both the Palestinians and the Israelis is Jerusalem. So to give you an idea of that, by moving the embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem. By the way, Donald Trump did this in a tweet where he said that he wanted to move the embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem. What he has effectively done is that he has tacitly said to the Palestinians that Jerusalem is the capital of Israel.
Capital. Yeah.
We will
They
protect
point to
Israel.
they point to the Jerusalem
It's
Embassy
ours.
Act of 1995. Yeah, I remember
Yes.
this now. Yep.
So this one tweet undid roughly 70 years of diplomacy. Very careful, very long-standing diplomacy that took a very long time. And one of the groups it pissed off was Hamas. Did you know that? Now, okay.
No, this wasn't this like 5 or 6 years ago or something?
Yes.
That he
Now, let
tweeted
me
this?
tell you
Okay,
this,
yeah.
right? I'm not going to say that Donald Trump instigated the October 6th attacks. But I think if Donald Trump never moved the embassy and never released that tweet, then likely the October 6th attacks would not have occurred. Right? We would have at least been able to continue our diplomatic efforts. And I got news for you, right? I don't want a guy that can undo 70 years worth of diplomatic ties over a tweet be anywhere near power whatsoever. You are completely incapable of understanding the gravity of a situation, right? That's as far as I'm concerned. And I really, really hate that. Anyway.
And it wasn't just that. It was like more than that. Because keep in mind, during his presidency, not only did he move the capital to Jerusalem, which is indeed, as you clearly put it out, it's an aggravating factor for every tension in the Middle East.
Yep.
The second thing he did was recognizing that the Golan Heights belong to Israel, which is, again, according to international law. And the U.S. is the only country to do this, okay? According to international law, that's occupied territory. You cannot incorporate occupied territory into your own country, right? You cannot grow your country by conquest, okay, according to international law. Well, that was the second thing, because, if Trump can do that with Golan Heights, then he can do it with, like, the West Bank, and he wants to do it. And we know this because he's hands in hands with, like, Miriam, I forget her name, like her last name, right? Big Zionist, big founder for Trump. And the third thing that he did was the Abraham Accords, where he literally took, like, United Arab Emirates and Saudi Arabia and all the other countries and wanted to make them make peace with Israel, disregarding, like, the Palestinians, not even caring about the fact that, there's an occupation there, that there's an apartheid state, like nothing. So he just bypassed everything, as you said, as you very well put it. 70 years of diplomacy were just shattered with these three things.
In a
like,
stupid
instantly.
tweet, a stupid, uneducated tweet. That's all it is. It literally makes no sense. It is opposite of basic logic. Anyway, let's go ahead and I'm gonna move you over to the audience if that's okay, Maraxis. Did you have anything else to say?
Yeah, I just want to wrap up. That was absolutely true. And not only that, like cut funding to the Palestinian Authority, like and to the what was it, the UNRWA or whatever, their
UNRWA,
main,
yeah.
yeah, and then and provided assistance to they provided assistance to Palestinian refugees and a bunch of other stuff. But yep, 100%. But anyway, thank you. I wanted to just say that was it's an interesting thing to still see a lot of undecided voters who are hinging on basically whatever single thing. I didn't want to get wrapped into any particular policy per se, but my main point was it's still just kind of an interesting phenomenon to see that this sort of this engagement with what's going on and just and fixating on one particular thing and then making that your overall standing for why you would hold out on a vote, knowing perfectly well that in literally every other capacity, Trump would make this whole country worse. But yeah, anyway, that was what I just kind of wanted to bring up. So thanks.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Anyway, we're gonna move him over to the audience now. We have some more videos, don't we, Daniel? We got some good ones.
We do.
Let's take a look.
Which one do you want to get first?
Yeah. Okay. So I kind of just wanted. I was curious. Let's just go down the list. Let's go down the list. Right. We just saw that was. We saw number 1 and number 4. Right. So we can go straight to the Harris 2.
There is so much at stake in this election for Puerto Rican voters and for Puerto Rico. And this election is not just a choice between Donald Trump and me. It is a choice between two very different visions for our nation. One, his, focused on the past and on himself, and the other ours, that is focused on the future and on you. Puerto Rico is home to some of the most talented, innovative, and ambitious people in our nation.
What are you kidding? It's a garbage heap, right, Daniel? I remember a guy, he said, he was like, it's a garbage heap, and I was like, ha 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 ha.
But I mean, this was her message to Puerto Rico after the MSG
fact,
rally.
Of course.
Yeah.
Classic.
Because obviously, you can't call like a whole island full of people just a garbage. But Trump called the entirety of the United States a garbage can. So
now, to be fair to Donald
maybe
Trump,
that's what he thinks about everyone.
Did he at least say that he denounced what the comedian said, or no? Did he not do that either?
No, actually, there is further down the line. You're going to see Trump number 5, the clip where he just says he didn't even know anything about him. It's like, well, who's that guy? It's like, was it at MSG rally? What rally? I don't know anybody.
Okay, so he didn't denounce it. He just denies knowing a comedian who called Puerto Rico.
Yeah, like, it wasn't me. You remember the song? It wasn't me. I did something racist. Wasn't me.
All right, anyway, let's continue with this.
I quoted Mein Kampf, wasn't me.
A president who sees and invests in that strength. As president, I will bring down the cost of housing, invest in small businesses and entrepreneurs, and fight to finally secure equal access to programs that strengthen the healthcare system and support children, seniors, and working people. I will create a new Puerto Rico Opportunity Economy Task Force, where the federal government will work with the private sector, with nonprofits and community leaders to foster economic growth and create thousands of new, good-paying jobs in Puerto Rico, including for our young people. And I know that Puerto Rico's economic future depends on urgently rebuilding and modernizing the island's energy grid.
Can I just point out, right, that was actually a thing that I noticed regarding the Puerto Rico. They're a territory of the United States, but they got hit like really hard recently with a hurricane, and it just destroyed their entire energy grid. And the United States didn't do anything.
But funnily enough, that was during Trump's
months.
administration. It was Hurricane Mariam, if I remember correctly.
Like, I you know what? Hold on. Is it wrong of me to use ChatGPT for this? Can I just quickly, what did we do about Puerto Rico when it lost power for months? in the U.S.? Generally curious. Okay, let's see here. Okay, so the response was
in
multifaceted,
2017.
which involved, yes, in 2017, it's Hurricane Maria, and it was involving federal aid, private sector support, and humanitarian efforts, but it was widely criticized as insufficient and slow. So this is back in 2017, right? So would this have been during the Trump administration that happened?
Kind of.
When was...
Kind of.
Hold on.
But we did get something really good out of it. I don't know if you remember. We have that small video of Trump just tossing toilet paper to people, like at a rave.
I remember
It was
that.
really fun. Yeah.
I remember that, where he was just like throwing toilet paper at people.
Yep.
Bro, that is so cringe.
Yeah. That was literally his response to Hurricane Maria. Like literally everything. How many
Imagine you're
paper
just like,
towels? Sorry, if
you
it was
got
paper
to deal with
towels.
Hurricane Maria, and you're just like, you just like go to a crowd of people, you're just like yeet with like toilet paper.
Yeah. Yeah, and he did say, like, Crave is actually pointing out that Trump said that the president of Puerto Rico should be fired. He was the president of Puerto Rico.
He literally was
because it is
acting
an American territory.
He literally was acting like it was a basketball. I remember seeing this.
Yep.
Like
Yep.
is like the perfect gif for saying yeet to. That's it. Like it, I don't know. It just, okay. All right. So let's see here. So the federal response and aid is the FEMA. It appears that they were responsible for coordinating the relief efforts. Congress allocated billions of dollars for recovery, although funds faced delays and bureaucratic obstacles. The U.S. Army Corps of Engineers was deployed to help restore power, but many areas remained without electricity for months, some rural areas going almost a year without full restoration. So this is happening under Donald Trump, is basically completely ineffectual as far as I'm concerned, right? Like,
Exactly.
and let's be honest, right?
Yeah.
This, a reaction like this, it would be completely unacceptable if, say, it happened in Florida, right? Florida's response was immediate. It was right away within the days after, we were seeing power trucks and, disaster relief efforts and supplies. Wait, what?
Because you remember, right? If you listen to Trump, nothing was done in Florida, right? If you listen to him, if you remember, it's like during the two hurricanes that hit Florida, it's like, what did he say? Oh, the Biden administration is doing nothing. They're not doing anything. FEMA is not doing anything. When in actuality, since you were actually there, you could see that there was like a lot of things were mobilized. There was help coming. There were money pumped in. Yeah.
It's just crazy. It's crazy. It's totally unacceptable. Anyway, we'll go ahead and we're going to continue the video.
That's why I will cut red tape, ensure disaster recovery funds are used quickly and effectively, and work with leaders across the island to ensure all Puerto Ricans have access to reliable, affordable electricity. I will never forget what Donald Trump did and what he did not do when Puerto Rico needed a caring and a competent leader. He abandoned the island, tried to block aid after back-to-back devastating hurricanes, and offered nothing more than paper towels and insults.
Wait, without us even watching the video. I haven't even seen this video. Yep. I unironically have not even seen this video, and she's corroborating what we have just said.
Yep.
Now Donald Trump
this is everybody knows
even more extreme, talking about using the military against his political enemies and being a dictator on day one. Puerto Ricans deserve better. As president, I will always fight for you and your families, and together we can turn the page and chart a new and a joyful way forward to a future where everyone can not just get by, but get ahead. I thank you, and please take care.
I love it. I love it. I love it. It's like Kamala Harris is an actual candidate that actually is doing something. And as far as like I'm concerned, Donald Trump doesn't do that. But hey, if there's anybody, maybe, you know, if you disagree, you think, and don't worry, me and Daniel are not going to tag team. You could debate either one of us. If you raise your hand, I'll hear out your argument. Anyway, we're going to take a look at the next video here. It says Harris 3, a reaction to the MSG rally. Let me go ahead.
Yeah,
and
that was
download
like
that.
literally after. Yeah, it was literally after the rally, just like her hot reaction.
It looks
to
like
what
we
was
have
happening there.
the transcended femboy who would like to speak. Come on up,
He is
transcended.
underage though. He is
Oh, are they
underage.
underage? Are you underage?
Yes. Yeah,
Yes.
I remember him.
Sorry, mate. It's like I had to rat on you, but it's
I'm
like,
sorry.
I know,
Listen.
he has yes.
If
Sorry.
we'll do it. It'll be better during like chill streams where we're not talking about like politics and stuff. Anyway, so we're gonna go into the Harris 3 reaction here. Let's just watch it together.
Remarks about President Trump's rally last night. Some people who watched that made comparisons between a rally that happened at Madison Square Garden in 1939 with neo-Nazis or Nazis back then. Do you see those comparisons? And can you also expand on what he said and what you said yesterday about Puerto Rico?
Donald Trump this is not new about him, by the way. What he did last night is not a discovery. It is just more of the same and maybe more vivid than usual. Donald Trump spends full time trying to have Americans point their finger at each other. Fans the fuel of hate and division. And that's why people are exhausted with him.
Okay,
That's why
pause it a
people
bit.
who formerly
Pause it a
have
bit.
supported
Because
Donald
now I remember.
All right, go ahead.
Now I remember.
Why
The first
you
one,
brought
the
this one
first
up?
clip that I sent. Yeah. So the first one, the message to Puerto Rico, actually, that was before the MSG rally. Okay, so she literally had a message for the Puerto Ricans before the MSG rally, and at the MSG rally, the thing happened, right, with Puerto Ricans, and
So
this
you're
is
saying-
after, because this is why, like, this reporter, yes, because this reporter, he says,
So you're saying that
what do you
she
say
did that
about
Puerto
this when
Rican
yesterday? Yeah,
message prior to what they
Yes.
said about Puerto Ricans?
Yes, and they didn't. You know, obviously they had no idea that was going to.
I
be
honestly
said.
have a hard time believing you.
Yeah, because that's why. Yeah, it
I mean,
is
you
what
tend
it
to
is.
be
You know,
a fact-driven
sometimes the stars
person like
align.
I do, but I mean that is so incredible that I almost have to start doubting you. I'm like, wait, that can't be
Well,
true. That's
in
too
a way,
it's too targeted.
But there's a reason why. Because in Pennsylvania, you have a lot of people from Puerto Rico. There's like 450,000 people from Pennsylvania are from Puerto Rico. So there's like a really big community. Like in all these battleground states, like a lot of people coming from Puerto Rico. So of course you're going to talk about Puerto Rico because they're like very, you know, they like Puerto Rico. Like even if they're living in mainland USA, they're still, you know, they have family there. They go there constantly. So it's not like they just forgot about it, you know.
Yeah.
It's still in their hearts and minds at all times. So of course, you know, you're trying to appeal to people in Pennsylvania and, you know, Michigan, and it's like, yeah, you kind of lost, let's say, like a bit like the Muslim vote with everything that's happening in Israel right now and in the Middle East in general. Then yeah, it's good for you to actually go to the next big group, right? And that's the Puerto Ricans. And you know, with Trump's track record on how he handled Puerto Rico, it's like, yeah, it's not that hard.
Oh, for sure. Anyway, so that looks like that was her reaction to the MSG rally. Oh, we're not even done with this video. Let's keep going.
Voted for him, are supporting me, voting for me. People are literally ready to turn the page. They're tired of it. In terms of Puerto Rico, even when I was in the United States Senate, knowing that Puerto Rico does not have a United States Senator, I was intentional about doing what I could as a United States Senator to make sure that among my priorities, it included paying attention to the needs of the people on that island, including the aftermath of Hurricane Maria. I have announced also my plan that is about my opportunity economy writ large, but a specific target that will include a task force focused on the needs of Puerto Rico. understanding that it has very specific needs in terms of upgrading and repairing its electrical grid, what it needs in terms of investment that will be public-private partnerships. And I'm going to continue to do it. I'm very proud to have the support of folks like Bad Bunny and Jennifer Lopez and others who were supporting me before that nonsense.
Is it a little quiet for y'all? Is it quiet?
I mean, I'm hearing it fine. I up the volume.
Yeah, because somebody just mentioned, can you turn up the volume of the video?
Yeah.
It's quiet. It might just be me, though. So I don't know if it's everybody else or if it's just... I'll turn it up to 125 here.
And are supporting me because they understand that they want a president of the United States who's about uplifting the people and not berating, not calling America a garbage can, which is what Donald Trump, those are the words he has used. So there you go. I'll see you later.
So yeah, it is interesting. So let's see. Maybe that joke actually is going to not be that great for Trump.
Maybe.
You know,
I mean,
that comedian.
how many Puerto Ricans are even in the country?
Oh, there's more than on the island. And again, it's like, I think what's important is the fact that you have Pennsylvania with so many of them, right? So it's like the voting base. And by the way, there's like a lot of them, saying that they're going to switch their. So look, you even have it there, right? You have like number 9 from Trump. There's literally like a Puerto Rican lady and her assessment of Trump after those remarks at the MSG rally. So you can even play it. It's pretty interesting.
So I do want to play that, but I wanted to play you one of my videos because you got a lot.
Oh yeah.
We got a lot more about Trump than we have about Kamala Harris.
I mean, obviously.
I mean, it's just been horrendous. All right. So we're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna play the interesting video that I came upon.
Thank you.
All right. So just read what this says. This is behind the scenes glimpse on how Trump posted on social media during the Harris DNC speech. This video is bonkers.
Okay, I haven't seen it.
This video, you're gonna be like, I can't believe this is actually happening. All right, here we go.
Thank you.
Oh my God, is she crazy?
Thank you.
Wow.
Thank you so very much. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Oh, too many thank yous.
It's about 20.
There must be 35.
Traveling from India to California with an unshakable dream to be the scientist.
How many people are watching?
Can we tell how many, Dan? How many people are watching?
She's talking about how great San Francisco was before she destroyed it. A lot of talk about childhood. We've got to get to the border, inflation, and crime. He's not proposing.
Bro, imagine, bro. You got a whole team of people tweeting in your name. They got like 7 laptops on that table.
Because I remember he was making fun of the fact that she said thank you too many times. And it's like, if you actually watch that opening, there was like, everybody was just clapping and clapping and clapping.
Yeah, because they're excited. They're excited. And it's like,
of course.
No. I just want to focus not on what Kamala was just doing early in, but rather what Trump is doing in this moment, right? And because like this is grabbing footage directly from their campaign.
Single policy, not one policy.
Harris's biography won't lower your prices at the grocery store
Or at the pump.
Out there putting veterans out on the street, so
33,000 homeless veterans. Gotcha. Okay, send these out. The things of which she complains. The things of which she complains.
In many ways, Donald Trump is an unserious
it's just like a room full of sycophants.
There's like a room full of people.
Job is to take his words and put them in tweet form
No, the best part is like, I'm pretty sure that there's like a clip in here where it's like one of them just typing in all caps.
Yeah, of course, obviously. That's the classic Trump, right? I mean, were they tweeting or were they
Just watch.
tweeting?
I'm almost certain that we could see it here.
These
Hold on.
prosecutions were all started by her and Biden against their political opponents. Me.
More lies.
Lying against Project 25, which she knows, and so do all Democrats, that I have nothing.
Look at all the caps.
Nothing to do.
Oh no.
She says we all know what a Trump second term will look like. We can say yes, no inflation.
That's why you see so many tweets coming from Trump. It's not Trump doing it.
Yeah.
He's sitting there with like not fat fingering on the toilet. He's got an entire team of people to push his hate.
No, I mean, he's just saying, it's like, tweet about crime.
Yeah,
And
why
then
did
it's
you
like,
say
okay,
this?
Crime is bad, all caps.
The economy and the history of the world.
She said, chart a new way forward. Turning a new way.
Chart a new way forward.
She's done nothing but harm.
I think we have a graphic about black earnings being down 6%. If we haven't already hit that, let's hit that one.
She's talking about the middle class, but she's the one that broke the middle class and made it unsafe.
She wants to give free Social Security and Medicare to illegals.
Bro, imagine this. The entire thing
you
is
know
like,
what that
let's
is,
just, right? What is it? What is this? It's just,
that is so, you know those movies where you have like the evil scientist, whatever, that has like the lair, you know, where like he thinks about all his crimes, and you know around him there's like this army of like, you know, little creatures that do all his deeds for him, and they just try to find like all the ways. I mean, look at this guy, look at this fucking guy, man. He's just literally sitting there. It's like, it's like, do we have like this thing with like 6% that, did we do that? Let's hit it again, let's do it again. Okay, let's just push it there.
And I guarantee you, right, like
is.
I guarantee you, right, like the guy here, right, this guy that is talking in there, right, like obviously like he's likely in it for a paycheck, and I guarantee you this guy's is probably about 20 points IQ higher than Donald Trump himself. I guarantee it, right? Because like hearing him sitting here rattling off like statistics, let's continue.
Harrison to walls or extremists on abortion and abortion up to the moment of even after birth.
What would you say to a woman in Mississippi? Republicans, liberals and conservatives wanted Roe v. Wade terminated and brought back to the states.
Oh my God.
Stories that
such a lie. Such a lie.
Right? It's like nobody wants that, and he's just saying it out of his mouth, and then it's just being like shoved into like this person who then just tweets it out. Again, like you have to wonder, it's like, how does he get so many tweets out so fast, so rapidly?
Yeah, but he repeats that all the time. Like that specific lie about Roe v. Wade wanted to be
like everybody wanted to get rid of Roe v. Wade. Nobody wanted to get rid of Roe v. Wade. Classy Neurotic
just
says,
you, and you're like
Classy Neurotic says, where's RFK?
But it's weird, you know what's weird about this? Because I've heard him say that in interviews, right? And I've never heard like one single like journalist saying, it's like, wait a second, Mr. Trump. It's like, that's not true. It's like nobody wanted that. There was like only a small group that actually wanted that.
I'm curious
like
if like after the end of the video that they just have RFK just coming out with like toilet paper on his foot. He's like, all right, everybody, I'm back. You know, I can't. All right, let's keep on watching.
Heard of.
I heard her say contraception, and I heard her say birth control.
Do not limit access to birth control or IVF. That is a lie.
Well, we trust women.
I trust women also. And I will keep women safe.
Of the United States, I will proudly
it's crazy because he's just like looking at it and then just responding back to this lady and then has to like type the whole thing out.
The lives of women and the families.
This is so gross.
African Americans and Hispanics.
That bill that legalizes illegal immigration.
and is a total disaster. Weak and ineffective. Close the border. She just called to give all illegals citizenship. Say goodbye to the USA.
Trump, on the other hand, threatened to abandon NATO.
NATO wasn't paying their bills. I saved NATO. She hates Israel.
Look how many, look how much tweeting and how much.
complaining.
Now I feel better for why I wasn't tweeting. I mean, I barely used Twitter in my life, but now I feel better. It's like that's why
I feel
wasn't
better
tweeting
not
before.
having
I didn't have
having
a
Twitter.
team.
So Lukey is a cool dude says, what do you think about that slippery slope if they ban a woman's rights to their own body? What other groups are going to be the target next? I completely agree with that. Completely agree. Though I wouldn't even call it a slippery slope because it appears to be that way, right? They're already doing it now, right? And then
But they announced
Supreme
exactly.
Court people saying that they want to ban gay marriage. That was even said in the remarks from Justice Clarence Thomas. I mean, to me, it's obvious. We can't have this
don't
guy
forget
as a
about
president.
IVF. Don't forget about IVF.
It's ridiculous.
Don't forget
Anyway,
the fact that
let's finish up this
the
video
congregation
and
of
then
Anything on China?
Has she mentioned fracking?
Kamala Harris is a threat to democracy.
She will take us into World War III and nuclear war.
She will take us into a nuclear World War III. So.
just looking at her, just shaking her head up and down, just so confirmed, like yeah, absolutely, that's absolutely gonna happen. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
Crazy.
That is a crazy video.
It is crazy. It is crazy.
All right.
But yeah, man, that's how it goes behind the scenes, man. It's the first time I've seen. what happens
I
there,
never
but,
saw that. I never saw that. It's actually, I'm just like, wait, that makes perfect sense. You know, when you break it down, you're like, yeah, that's kind of how it would work, right? Like,
yeah.
All right.
The
so
hate machine needs a lot of years. Let's be very honest.
We got the what do you have here? You got Trump won McDonald's, right? Again, I haven't seen any of these videos, right?
I mean,
Save
look
for
at the
ones
number
that I've
9.
saved.
Let's look at let's look at the Puerto Rican lady, you know, and what she felt about the Madison Square Garden
Classy
rally.
Neurotic says, I want to see Biden's reaction to the RNC. Unironically, what Biden's reaction during the RNC would be, he's probably wrapped up in blankets and having a soup because he had COVID.
Yeah.
He had COVID. But assuming he didn't have COVID, like unironically, he probably was just like having a Mai Tai in Cancun. Like, I mean, he did have, screw this. I'm done. Like, I don't deal with this. Like,
he did talk at the DNC, right? If I remember, he did have like, and people actually cheered for him because, like, you know, he's gonna leave us.
All right.
Goodbye.
Let's see what we got here. We got. We're gonna go ahead and put in the Trump won McDonald's.
Hello, everybody. Sir. My first day
it's a bit old now.
Last week. I like it all. I love my job. I like every ounce of
Look
it.
at him. Somebody.
Wait,
tying his apron.
What did he say? Let's go back there. Hold on. What did he say?
I like it all. I love my job. I like every ounce of it, everything. It's a great setup, huh? Grab one while it's really hot. See if you can touch that sucker. I don't think so. Never even touch it, huh?
Exactly.
I was always wondering, wow, that's pretty good. Keep it tight. Never touches the human hand.
Very good.
Nice and full. Nice and clean. Of course, my hands are nice and clean. How good is that, Margot? Here, Margot, have them. Watch the sucker. I love salt. Wait a minute, I spilled some. I'm very superstitious. Oh, I see. Now I'm going to see that. Oh, that's your customer out there.
Yes.
I mean, like, what are they saying? Like it's staged, obviously, right? We know it's staged.
Well,
like, of course, it has to be. So he's just like, is
just
that
like the one with the
customer out
garbage
there?
truck.
Like,
he's constantly surprised at the fact that things work in a certain way. This guy was eating for 20 years, like 30 years, 40 years from McDonald's.
Yeah.
And I don't know what did he think. He thought that everybody was just picking the French fries straight from the fucking hot oil and just putting them in the tiny thing. It's like, it's like, they're not touching the human hand. It's like, of course, dude. What do you think? It's like, how do you think this works?
And then here I have Luke is a cool dude. As someone who is in a queer relationship, if I had to, quote, act straight in public due to a policy state or federal, this would be modern day fascism. Completely agree. Right? I have to ask myself, who do I want to run our country, right? Do we want, Donald Trump or Kamala Harris? And that's where I go, like, that's not even, to me, it's not even a question.
Kind of isn't, yeah.
Anyway.
Kind of is like a no-brainer.
We'll finish this video. It's pretty funny.
Oh, it's pretty good. Okay, let's say. And there'll be no charge. Trump is paying for it. Is that okay?
Trump 2024.
You're going to some extra stuff.
Trump is paying for it. You mean the American taxpayer?
Yeah, kind of.
The American taxpayer is paying for it, actually.
This is all on Trump.
Oh, all on Trump.
I'm allowed to do that, right?
Yeah. Let's check and make sure it's everything he said it would be.
It's better be. It's going to be.
We're allowed to pull that out of the Secret Service funding? We could do that? Okay, all right. Well, all right. Here's your McDonald's, dude. It's on Trump.
But actually, there have been reports of people that have like dementia, like in nursing homes, that have been billed like hundreds of thousands of dollars, right, by the Trump campaign, where it's like they were made to put like recurring.
That would be so bad.
Again, it's like
that would be like one of the worst things ever.
When you're like going to Netflix and you say, "Oh, I want Netflix. I want the tryout period," and you just in order to actually opt out, you need to go and just opt out of the monthly pay. And they have like these recurring fees, right? Like every month they have to give money, right? And because they have dementia, they forget the fact that they actually have that recurring pay, and they just paid like hundreds of thousands of dollars. So yeah, you probably can afford to pay some fries.
It's just crazy. People. It's crazy. Anyway, let's take a look at looks like here we got Trump 2, Arnold Palmer.
Again,
right.
it's an older one.
All right, we're gonna watch it.
Yeah.
I love Latrobe. You know why? The home of Arnold Palmer. This was the home of my friend Arnold Palmer. And he loved Latrobe. He turned out to be one of the greatest golfers in the world. But Arnold Palmer was all man. And I say that in all due respect to women, and I love women. But this guy.
Where does this go from here?
Oh, well, you'll see. You'll see.
What?
He loves women. What? He loves women. Yes. But Arnold Palmer, he really loves
women. But listen. Listen. All right.
This is a guy that was all man. His man was strong and tough.
Hey man, maybe he is LGBT. But that man,
he took showers with the other pros. They came out of there. They said,
"Did you take a shower with him, Trump?"
That's unbelievable. I had to say it.
He's commenting on his dick size,
What is dick size? Yes. He's literally saying, "It's like, oh, that guy is like great golfer."
Here's the thing, right? Like,
bigger penis holder.
If somebody is like genuinely homophobic, like, wouldn't it be true that like this could potentially like sway them to not vote for Donald Trump potentially? Because this is easily a homophobic, or I'm sorry, this is easily like a homoerotic moment for Donald Trump here, right? Hey, I'm not knocking him. I'm not knocking him for his desire, right? I mean, what? Maybe he's bisexual.
Really, what he's saying,
maybe he's bisexual.
Yeah, well, what he's saying, he's kind of saying that Arnold Palmer, he was a real man with a big dick.
Rupert
right? Because
says,
like real men have big dick.
Arnold Palmer.
Yeah. And he didn't say he took a shower with Arnold Palmer. It's like all the other pros, were having showers with him, and when they were coming out, he's like, "Oh my god, he has a big dick."
So we'll take a look at the next video. here where we have, it says here, Trump 3 fascist. That's what we're going to look at next. I have to download these videos.
Is Donald Trump's former chief of staff, his longest serving chief of staff, General John Kelly, is now going on the record 2 weeks before the election to say that Trump meets the definition of a fascist and said nice things about Hitler.
Do you think he's a fascist?
Well, I'm looking at the definition of fascism. It's a far-right, authoritarian, ultranationalist political ideology and movement characterized by a dictatorial leader, centralized autocracy, militarism, forcible suppression of opposition, belief in a natural social hierarchy. Certainly, the former president is in the far-right area. He's certainly an authoritarian, admires people who are dictators. He has said that. So he certainly falls into the general definition of fascist, for sure.
That's crazy. And then, so the person that was just talking about that, right? Who exactly was that person?
He was like chief of staff or something like that in the Trump administration. John Kelly.
John Kelly.
Yeah,
here, hold on.
It was like one of the generals. Yeah.
Looks like Rip and Tear would like to speak, so we're going to invite him in. Come on up, Rip and Tear. Rip and Tear, you are being invited. Oh, nope. Looks like he just lowered his... Did not mean to raise my hand. Okay. All right. No problem. Was it... So you say it was John Kelly?
Yeah, yes. He was like White House chief of staff, if I remember correctly. And he was one of the one of the guys that actually left. He was actually praised by Trump when he left. It was like, oh, great guy.
Yeah, he was White House chief
like,
of staff, as well as he was first as the Secretary of Homeland Security.
Yeah.
And
one of the lies that a lot of like right wingers said after this clip came out was like, oh, he just said that because he was fired. Because obviously we know he fired a lot of people, Trump. But he actually wasn't fired.
So you're saying because he was fired, well, then, you know,
but he
we can't take anything that he says seriously, right? Like, is that how that works?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, to me, it's like...
And it's not the only one. There's like a lot more people that said this before Kelly, right? He's kind of like at the tail end of people from the administration that came out and said these things about Trump. So it's like nothing new. He's just like kind of corroborating what everybody else was saying about Trump.
Well, to me, it's like plainly obvious, right, that we call Donald Trump a fascist, right? People have asked me to define fascism, and, you know, I just gave like a pretty simple colloquial definition is like, okay, person that centralizes power in an autarkic rule and often favors a state or race above others. And that seemed like a pretty adequate definition, right? I mean, maybe it is not all encompassing, but it's a good general definition. And bringing in Donald Trump's facets, it appears to be that way. That's just my own personal, what appears to be the case. And I've heard people giving their arguments why he's not a fascist, but I'll be honest, I don't find them very convincing. I really don't, because they either try to dismantle my simple definition by including more complex things. I mean, it got so bad that there was a person that was questioning my definition of fascism and was then talking about the difference between it was the Nazi fascism and Mussolini, and the way that they were talking, it sounded like that they were saying, well, it's, you know, we're talking about Mussolini fascism. And so then I just had to ask him point blank. I said, hey, do you think that the Nazis were fascist? You know what he said?
No, I didn't remember because I was there.
He said no to that. He said that the Nazis weren't fascist. That I'm just like, all right, you lost the discussion. It's actually over. There is no more discussion. you're a crazy person. And I think my definition is appropriate. I really do. I think that. Anyway, we're going to go to the next video here. It says Harris 4, Steve Kornacki reacts to the Iowa poll.
But I think we saw
because
that
we've seen so many groups this year.
Wait, I apologize. Hold on. You're right. We were looking at Trump. Sorry, we were looking at Trump 3, right? Fascist.
Yeah,
and
the
so
base
we want to look at
numbers,
Trump 4 base numbers. Yeah.
Yeah, which kind of
because
fits
we've
with
seen
this
so
one.
many groups this year moving in Donald Trump's direction. So you would think his core group, his base of support would be doing the same. But in fact, it's moving a little bit away from him. So this is Trump's margin with non-college white voters. Unlike most voting blocs, this group is not moving towards him. It's actually moving slightly away. So you go back 8 years ago, he won him by 33. You go back 4 years ago, he won him by 31. Now what we look is we see that in the latest average of polls, he's only up by 27. Now that may not seem like a lot, but given that we're seeing these double-digit gains, say among black voters or among Hispanic voters in some of the polls, the fact that we're seeing this core group of supporters actually moving away from him, not just off of the 2016 baseline, but the 2020 baseline as well, I think that's a rather interesting.
To be fair, though, among the non-college educated white voters, he's up, right?
No, but that's what he's saying. So what
Yeah.
he's saying is that was his base, right, from the start. Like, even if you go into 2016, like, that was his base. Like, his base were these people, right? Like, a non-college educated white man. And this type of, like, his base is kind of shrinking, right? So he's shrinking in that part with the non-college educated white males, but he's gaining in other groups, right? With, like, black men, Hispanics, so on, right? Which he's kind of making some headway. But, we should listen further, because he's going to explain why this downward trend is actually pretty important and why it actually can affect these numbers.
Let's continue.
Pretty significant.
Development.
Shrinkage, as Donald Trump might say, based on what he said the last few days. Why could even a small difference with this group matter?
Why can a small difference with this group matter? Because look at what percentage of the electorate that they make up. So we can look nationally, right? Look at this. Non-college white voters make up 40% of the electorate. That's more than college whites at 29%. All other groups,
There's
voters of color at 20%.
people that are non-college?
Yeah. Yeah, but just look in the Michigan, like, look in the battleground states, because that's, like, even more important.
Man, we're screwed.
No, but imagine, like, 51%, right, are non-college educated white people, right, in those battleground states. And if he's losing from those 51%, like, even like a 2%, 3%, it's a lot, right? Even if you're gaining with the others, because look at all the others, like, in the in the battleground states, like,
you're saying that the overall numbers is
exactly.
Anyway,
8%. So this is something that we've seen throughout the board, right? Which is that Donald Trump is making huge gains with groups that make up a smaller percentage of the electorate, while he's losing a little bit. But these groups that he's losing a little bit of make up a much larger portion of the electorate. But more than that, we're talking about the US of A, where they make up 40%. Why don't you go to those key Great Lake battleground states, Michigan, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin? They have outsized import in those Great Lake battleground states. Non-college white voters, look at this. They make up the slim majority of voters at 51%, way more than college whites at 30%, way more than all other voters at 16%. So if you're seeing movement in the Great Lake battleground states among non-college whites, that could be a very big development, John.
Are we seeing movement in the battleground states among non-college whites?
Nothing quite like a leading question, my dear friend. Yes,
Wow.
we are.
Yeah.
We're seeing the same pattern in the Great
Interesting.
Lake battleground states that we're seeing nationally. That is small movement among non-college white voters.
So would you
Again,
say, is this your, like, what you consider, like, is this like your silver bullet where you think that Donald Trump is going to lose the election? Or what do you think?
I mean, I've already told you, it's like, I'm pretty pessimistic. I also think, like, Trump is extremely favored to win. But and again, I think this is also because, first of all, I'm not in the US to kind of, like, directly gauge what the enthusiasm is when it comes to voting. And like the media, like constantly, like all the freaking polls, they're saying like 50-50, 50-50, 50-50. So it's like, it kind of puts me in that place where like I don't really know what to say, right? So when, for example, when in 2020, I was like, yeah, I don't think Trump is going to win. It's like I was kind of like,
well,
yeah,
it looks
Biden
like that
is
we
going to
have
win.
Miguel
I
that
had a
would like
feeling.
to speak. So
Yeah.
we're gonna invite Miguel and see what he has to say. Go ahead, Miguel.
Yeah, I think she's gonna win. I really do think. And you can go on YouTube, type down "vote common good." There's a very good ad they posted that made every single right winger cringe. It's basically women lying to their husband and they're actually voting for
Oh
Kamala.
yeah, no, that's what we
Yeah.
literally
We saw it.
we just watched it on this stream. Yeah.
Yeah, like that,
Yeah, we
that's I
started with
think,
that one. Yeah.
and I
That's a
think
good
that's
one.
like, yeah, and I think people are underestimating older white women, like because people forget he carried suburban women in 2016. And he has lost them ever since, and I think those people are going to win her the election. Non-college white men, you can look up Progressive Action Fund. They also released a really good ad about birth control. It's very
That was an amazing ad
yeah,
too. I saw it. Oh
it's
my
towards
god.
men, yeah, and like that's the
Yes.
sad reality. For men to only vote for Democrats, you have to also give them a hard check reality, which is if you want to be a fuck boy, well, this is what Republicans get you. So I think these campaign ads are going to be really effective. I think she is going to win. And there's polling from fucking Iowa, which is like a somewhat a respectable poll. I think I don't know if you guys saw that, but apparently
We talked
Iowa,
about it, yes.
yeah, Iowa's in play. Like it's,
Yeah.
I think this is going to be a very, for everyone saying this is going to be a close election. I think I've changed my opinion. I think this is going to be a locked in election for her.
You think?
I think she's
Miguel,
going
I mean, that's what I was about to say because I'm a bit pessimistic, like in nature, right? Like sometimes it's like, and that's why it's like I'm just saying out loud that it's like, yeah, but like the things that I can touch, like when it comes to polls and everything, it feels like Trump is winning. But when I'm looking at other things, like for example, how much, because I'm also listening to what other people are saying, right? When I'm listening to them saying that Democratic voters are like pretty energized, and then there's a lot of happiness in the air, and people like they want to go and vote, and it's like do all the things that they have to do in order for Kamala to win. If I'm looking at the Iowa polling, which is like amazing, if I'm looking at like all these other things, right? Looking at how like women, right? It's like, what do women think? Right? It's like how do they want to vote, right? And especially in a place like Iowa, where abortion is on the table in this election cycle, you're gonna look at the same thing I think is happening in Arizona, right? Like in all these battleground states, there's some issues that are almost all of them are like women issues, right? And women are voting, and Trump, I think, is kind of losing the suburban women vote, which he actually won in 2016 when he beat Hillary Clinton.
I think
so. That kind of makes me.
I think the problem.
Optimistic.
The problem is the abortion thing. I really genuinely think that there's a lot of women that really, really do not like their body being controlled by politicians 1,000 miles away. That's what's like the most astonishing thing is that whenever like people get into like an abortion argument, it's always, they talk about like the morality of abortion. They talk about like, okay, well, what's a human life? But here's the problem, right? We could have like our own disagreements as to what that is. But the question isn't whether or not, at what point do we consider something a human life? The question is whether or not that a person 1,000 miles away can make the decision as to whether or not a person has to undergo a pregnancy, which, by the way, is potentially life-threatening under all conditions. That's not a speculation, by the way. Every single pregnancy can be life-threatening, right? You don't really know it's life-threatening until it is. So if you're rolling the dice every single time, I don't think that should be up to a random politician. I really don't. I know, hot take, right? I could be crazy. Sorry, go ahead, Miguel.
It's dark. It's darker than that. It's whether or not whose life you value more. Do you value the woman who is in the here and now, or do you value this potential life? And it gets even more darker.
Well,
You have people like American who outright said that, a woman should give up her life because that's a motherly act. That's imposing your morals on a bunch of people who don't want that. Like, I'm sorry, but like, death is scary. Death is scary. And
for sure.
And the fact that you want to have the government to be the deciding person to who decides on who gets this medical procedure because your fucking morals or whether or not
or
you.
Hell, I mean, like people like they have like genuine. I've had multiple instances of women telling me about instances where they have to deal with an ectopic pregnancy, and they effectively can't do anything about it. They have to go to the next state over because the doctor isn't sure as to whether or not that they can actually abort the baby or abort the fetus under an ectopic pregnancy. For those that don't know, by the way, an ectopic pregnancy is where the egg begins to form inside the fallopian tube and not the uterine wall. So for anybody who's not aware, the fallopian tube is a very tiny tube that is not intended to stretch by any stretch of the imagination, like the uterus is intended to. And if the baby grows there, the mother will bleed out and die. That's how that works. Within weeks, they will bleed out and die. And because, and I understand where they say, oh, only under the life of the mother. However, when it comes to the actual policy adjustment, as far as everything is concerned, that is in effect on abortion that needs to happen. And the doctors at the end of the day who need to perform the medically necessary treatment aren't sure if they can or cannot do that thing because it is rather arbitrary to the actual law and they don't want to lose their medical license. So they just say, sorry, we don't do it. And then this person has literal weeks to respond, very few weeks until they like bleed out and die. It's basically a ticking time bomb and it gets more and more painful as it goes on. They have to go to another state. It's completely ludicrous. It's ludicrous, right? This shouldn't be up to the Supreme Court. I'm sorry, right? The Supreme Court is not a medical establishment. Anyway, that's my rant.
There have already been women under this ectopic pregnancy thing, right? That literally they went to a state where they had to perform a hysterectomy. Okay, so not only did they lose the baby, because obviously that's going to happen regardless, because it's an ectopic pregnancy, it's not viable at all. Not only that, they will never be able to have children again because of that.
Are you serious?
They don't care.
Yeah, it happened in Texas. Yes,
they don't care.
That's horrendous.
They don't care. And these fucking cowards will never admit it, but this is what they believe. They think that, if you have an ectopic pregnancy, then you probably did something bad in your life. You probably had sex out of wedlock and you're not being a godly vessel anymore. So you should go through this pain because this is your punishment.
They do see it as...
That's what they
I really hope there isn't somebody that thinks that way. I really just, for my own mentality, yeah, I mean, I hope not. I hope very few. Very, very few. Let's hope that. Anyway, let's go ahead and finish up this video, and then we're going to go to the next one.
You see it back in 2016, Donald Trump won him by 25. You see a small movement in 2020, Donald Trump winning him by 22. And look at that, what we are today. Again, Trump is ahead, but his margins are smaller. And when you have a shrinking margin for Donald Trump among his core group that makes up the majority of voters, it can make up for big shifts among smaller groups of the electorate. And this is why Kamala Harris is still in the ball game right now. It's because even though she's losing big league among groups that make up a small portion of the electorate, and she's making it up among groups that make up a big portion of the electorate, even if the movements are small. But it's clear
incredible.
Here. That is very
that's
interesting.
Incredible just to see that, right? That's pretty. Yeah. That's interesting to think of. Me personally, I'm Alan Lichtman crew. I'm going in favor of Alan Lichtman. I genuinely think his model is God tier. And I'm all in. I'm all in on the Alan Lichtman prediction. Anyway, let's go ahead and we're going to go to the next one. Trump 5 disregards MSG rally comedian.
You've created a broad coalition. I believe the Republican Party is now the party of hardworking men and women, and the Democratic Party is the party of Hollywood, New York, and D.C. coastal elites.
how's it the party of Hollywood, New York, and DC?
Aren't
like all of the unions like hardworking Americans, or are they just like New York and DC?
Also, he's part of that elite class. Like, what's your net worth? Anyway,
hey Miguel, I'm gonna move you. I'm gonna move you down, Miguel.
Gotcha.
I appreciate you. I appreciate you. I do. That's just crazy to me. It just shouldn't be. I don't know. Anyway, let's go to the next. Let's see here.
If that. So you have built a very broad, diverse coalition, including Hispanic Americans, African Americans. And by the way, I'll put the numbers up on the screen and we can show people where they were in those first 3 years of your presidency. The best growth rate in 60 years, and the people that did best were minorities in America.
That's right. They did the best.
And you have built this coalition. Anyway, so you have this big event at Madison Square Garden. It went on for hours. I don't even know if you were there for the whole thing. I don't know what time you got there. I was
plausible
told
deniability.
You
He wasn't there.
I see those numbers, and I'm not doubting the numbers, but at the same time, I have to ask myself, Trump left presidency shortly after COVID. Did they just cherry pick? Like, okay, well, here's the beginning. And then right before COVID, here's the numbers. And then completely ignore like post-COVID numbers, because like that was the part of the presidency where he, like, honestly, if COVID didn't happen, I think Trump would have won. I genuinely believe that, because
There's
people
a pretty
liked,
good chance, yeah.
you know, but because of the way that he handled COVID, it was seen as like one of the worst things ever. And it's like, I'm curious if Fox News just decided to do that for Black Americans and the Asian Americans and other minorities. Did they just simply do it pre-COVID? I venture to say that they would have, because those numbers didn't make sense.
If Fox News is telling me the sky is blue, I would doubt them. Okay.
Okay.
Let's be very honest.
I had no idea.
It's like, that's how much credibility they have in my eyes.
For sure. Anyway, let's continue.
This comedian who made comments.
I have no idea who he is. Somebody said there was a comedian that joked about Puerto Rico or something. And
and by the way,
I have no idea who he is. Never saw him. Never heard of him. Don't want to hear of him.
He's lying so much about this. So the thing is, like, before the MSG rally, he had the Joe Rogan, experience podcast, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
With Joe Rogan. And the thing is like, this guy, like Tony Hinchcliffe, right? He's a really good buddy with Joe Rogan. Really good buddy. People literally found out. There was like a podcast, right? One of the Joe Rogan experiences podcast with Tony Hinchcliffe, where Joe Rogan and Tony Hinchcliffe were literally talking about how the Trump campaign could benefit from having Tony Hinchcliffe with them, so he can make them like, like the quick sound bites, like the Tony Hinchcliffe sound bites, like, Puerto Rico is like a garbage island, right? Like that sound bite. They were literally talking that way before. Then Trump goes to Joe Rogan, and suddenly, boom, Tony Hinchcliffe is with the Trump campaign and is the MSG rally. Crazy how that goes, right?
It is crazy. It's crazy. Anyway, let's go ahead and continue this video here.
But I have no idea. They put a comedian in, which everybody does. You throw comedians in. You don't vet them and go crazy. It's nobody's fault. But somebody said some bad things. Now, what they've done is taken somebody that has nothing to do with the party, has nothing to do with us, said something, and they try and make a big deal. But I don't know who it is. I don't even know who put him in. And I can't imagine it's a big deal. I've done more for Puerto Rico than any president, I think, that's ever been president. When the hurricanes came, I rebuilt.
Remember?
I helped them rebuild their.
Remember the paper towels and everything that he didn't actually do to Puerto Rico, and now he's lying. He's like, I did so much for Puerto Rico, so much. It's unbelievable. And also,
it's like one of the worst FEMA situations, like save for what happened in Louisiana and Katrina. Like,
so this guy Tony Hinchcliffe, before the MSG rally, So what, again, some reports are saying, he did the same bit he did at the MSG rally, right? He did it in like a club in New York, okay? Where people weren't like really clapping because he was like, oh, okay, this is kind of shit, you know, and it's kind of like really disrespectful and really racist. And he was even saying, it's like, yeah, well, I'm gonna do this tomorrow. It's like, it's gonna be a lot better there, right? Like the public's gonna be like a lot on my side, right there.
Yeah.
And also, like the other reports are saying that part of his thing was he was gonna call Kamala Harris a cunt, right? Like the C word, right? And they actually took that out, right? The Trump campaign said, no, that's too much. So apparently that was too much, but joking about how Latino people, he was don't know how to use, condoms, and Puerto Rico being a garbage island, that wasn't too far for them.
Jeez. That's crazy, man.
But he knows nothing about it. He doesn't know anything about it.
Yeah. Let's see what they have to say here.
I helped them rebuild dams and everything else. That place was hit by so many hurricanes. It's almost
several
like
months.
Hurricane.
Took several months to
Hurricane
recover
Alley.
that one.
I've never seen anything like it. And Puerto Ricans love me because I was the president that stood up for them more than any president. I've had great relationships with Hispanics, but I've had really great relationship with Puerto Rico and people from Puerto Rico. They love. Every time I go outside, I see somebody from Puerto Rico. They give me a hug and a kiss. I gave them more money. I sent a hospital ship when they had one of the big hurricanes. They had no hospitals. The hospitals were wiped out. I sent the big Mercy ship. I sent it to Puerto Rico fully equipped. It took care of things. I mean, they love me in Puerto Rico, and I love them. I was there.
Hold on. Just, you did say that this is before he did the rally calling Puerto Ricans garbage?
Oh, no, this was after. So this is after the MSG rally. Because after the MSG rally, the fallout, like they needed to do something about it. So obviously, where does he go when he's in trouble? He goes to Sean Hannity.
He goes to Hannity,
because obviously,
and he's just
he knows.
No, I love the brown people. I mean, I've never shown any love for any brown people ever, and I've generally shown disdain, and I've even discriminated against them in my own buildings. But I love them.
Yeah. Did you see me tossing paper towels to them?
Did you see me? I could have dunked it. I did it. The old yeetaroo. You saw me that day where I did the old yeetaroo. Anyway.
Handing out food. I got in trouble for that too because we were having fun. We had a lot of people.
Yeah, because you were yeeting it at them. To people who are desperate. He was like, they got all upset. I'm like, yeah, dude, that's not how you do FEMA assistance. God.
You should look at his hands. She literally is making the
He's doing the
ball toss. It's amazing.
Hold on. Now here's the thing, right? We gotta.
Me for doing that.
Here's the thing. I gotta pull up the time where he's eating it, right? That's what we gotta do, right? Hold on. Give me 1 second, because we keep talking about this, and we didn't even show it on stream. Hold on. Let's see here. Trump. Throwing paper towels to crowd in Puerto Rico. Okay, here we go. Let me see here. Oh my God, it's so cringy. All right. Hold on. Let me just grab it.
Also, I see the real AG has his hand up. So maybe we can
we're gonna
invite him after.
Yeah. Give us 1 second, real AG. Here we go. So this is Donald Trump. This is in response to Hurricane Maria. He sent all his aid, as far as we're aware of, and this is what his aid looked like. Just want to point it out, right? This is what it looked like. Here we go. We're just gonna. Is it gonna play? Come on, play, you little bastard. What are you doing? Yeet! That's what he did. He's like, yeet!
It's amazing.
This is ridiculous, right? Okay. All right. For anybody who is not aware, Okay, I want you to be aware what it is to be suffering during a hurricane. Okay, number one, the problem is that when you're dealing with a hurricane, you're now dealing with like basic necessities, and these guys were without power for months. So that means that that every little thing that you can get a hold of counts, and it's really, really crucial, right? It's not funny because, you know, you're sitting there without power and you like, you consider, okay, I got to get my water from somewhere so I can get my toilet to flush, right? You start to think, okay, well, I can get water from here and put it into the tank. And here's the thing. If you ever want like a president or anybody to be on the ground, what that means is that there's likely millions of dollars that need to be spent on just your security alone. Because obviously there's crowds of people. They have to be vetted. You need to make sure that the area is safe. You have like snipers on roofs. You've got, all sorts of security clearance around you, and so you're very, it's a lot of resource. And not only that, you have to divert local police over to those areas because that's where like large crowds are forming and likely potential fighting could happen. And so basically what it's doing is that Donald Trump shouldn't be anywhere near this, right? At most a flyover. You should never be on the ground during a hurricane because what you're doing is that your very presence is divesting that resources that could be used on the Puerto Rican people. And this is what we see. We see, yeet! He's literally doing the basketball shooting. Like, this is not how we hand resources, right? Like,
he was having fun, man. Come on.
We're just having fun.
We're just having fun. What?
It's ridiculous. It's completely unacceptable.
You're just a sourpuss.
It's totally unacceptable.
You're just a sourpuss.
Absolutely. Why would I not be a sourpuss? What? Do you know what Kamala did during the hurricane?
Fun.
You know what she did during the hurricane for Florida? She did a flyover. You know what Donald Trump did? He decided to land. He landed and then diverted a ton of resources in Florida towns so that way he could just be there. I'm here. Like, dude, who cares? Nobody wants to spend millions of dollars so you could just sit there and land and make a show of face. Do what Kamala did, where it was a basic flyover, and then as soon as the flyover was done, they're like, all right, FEMA. They're getting on the phone with FEMA, and then they're getting the resources they need and the manpower they have, and there's a ton of like power trucks and power companies that are rushing into Florida. This is not how you fix a hurricane with freaking paper towels. This is horrendous.
Well, the thing is, like, Kamala Harris actually did more than that. She actually phoned DeSantis to tell him that she's there for them, and he just ignored.
Oh, that's a whole nother
nice.
can of worms.
Yeah.
That's a whole nother can of worms. Anyway, so that was that. Anyway, it looks like we have Real AG that would like to speak, so we're going to invite them. Come on up, Real AG.
You comrades voting for that Kamala Harris tomorrow?
I already voted. I'm done. I voted.
Unfortunately,
Yeah.
I cannot vote for her. She will never be my president.
Yeah,
That's right,
he's in Romania.
Trump, that's right, brother. Trump 2024.
Trump is also never going to be my president.
In all seriousness,
for Stein.
In all seriousness, though, AG, like, who are you voting for?
Oh, I voted for Kamala Harris last week.
You did vote for Kamala Harris. Okay, well, that's good.
Like the second day early voting started.
So why did you vote for Kamala Harris, would you say?
Because Trump is a fascist, and I do not want to live in fascism.
Good reason. That's a really good reason. I like that reason. Completely. Yeah.
It is
we're
the
just
best
in agreement
reason.
here. Yeah, we're just in agreement here. Anyway, but
I do want to find some disagreeers. It'd be very fun.
It would be fun. But we'll see. All right. So that was.
Let me asking, are you in a swing state or now?
No, I'm in Florida. As to whether or not that you can call that a swing state, most likely not. But maybe
You never
Anyway,
know.
I'm gonna go ahead and
Especially-
I'm gonna move AG down because it does look like that we do have a Trump supporter who is in the audience that would like to speak.
No, I
So
want to talk to him.
you want to talk to him? Okay. Well,
Yes.
hold on. Do you want to debate? Because I don't want to gang up on him, right? That's kind
Oh,
of
you don't want to gang up on him?
yeah. I don't want to
Alright, you
gang
know
up
what?
on him. Just one at a time.
You can talk to him for a little bit if I want to. Just bring me back in like 10 minutes, maybe.
All right, I'm moving to the audience.
Not 10 minutes. That's
All right. Here we go. All right. So we're gonna bring in non-Euclidean dog that would like to speak.
Oh
Hey,
my.
non-Euclidean, how you doing?
I'm doing well. How about you, Amender?
So who are you voting for? Like, be serious. Like, be honest.
Trump's no. Listen. I am honored to be introduced as a Trump supporter. That tells me that I'm doing what I need to do insofar as your perception. That's good. However, I hate to disappoint. I'm not a Trump supporter. I don't vote. And when I say that, I mean it. Like I do not vote. Yeah. So how's it going, man?
So you're just not voting?
Yeah. I'm one of those.
All right. Why don't you explain like why?
I'm more of like a conscientious objector type take, maybe. Like I just don't agree with a lot of what goes on now. As far as like geopolitics, I guess is maybe the most relevant one. And yeah, I don't like signing the permission slip, if you will. I don't want involvement like that.
So
Now
you're
politically,
you're a conscientious objector, but you don't
well, right, because
involve
neither
yourself
candidate,
at all.
right, neither candidate compels me to go actually cast my name behind them.
Okay. So what is it like that about Kamala that you did not like, I guess, then?
She was a prosecutor in the judicial system that almost destroyed my life for reasons that I think were a little bit inappropriate. I wasn't even a legal adult at the time, and I was one of those that got unluckily pushed towards being tried as an adult for a marijuana crime. I won't even call it a drug, a marijuana crime, and yeah, man, it almost destroyed my life. So like, to me, somebody like a prosecutor who's educated in the law and understands the political climate, like if you're not an outright advocate for decriminalization, I think that maybe you're morally dubious as a person, right? And this is my opinion, so that's why I won't vote for her. I wouldn't vote for a defense attorney the same way I wouldn't vote for a prosecutor.
Would it make you feel better that now were you you were smoking weed between 2004 to 2011?
I was selling it.
Okay, you were selling marijuana
yeah.
between 2004 to 2011. So
Well,
were you in?
later.
So
Under Obama, technically.
Okay, well, Harris was San Francisco district attorney from 2004 to 2011. Are you referring to her attorney general of California in 2011 to 2017?
No, I don't know. So like that's kind of the reason I chose conscientious objector. Like because
Hold on,
when I
I'm
look
trying
for
to
a
ask
candidate,
like when were
no. I understand, but just to clarify, like when I say like a candidate that would appeal to me, like it would be somebody who didn't involve themselves in the courts because of something like this, or maybe it's human rights with like immigration or prisoners of war or something. Like I think there's so many more reasons not to get involved with the judicial process than there are reasons to get into it, i.e. money. That's kind of where I come from. I don't like her profession the same way I don't like Trump's profession.
When were you a drug dealer?
Allegedly. Oh, that's actually a really good question, Amender. Like, when did it begin? Because emotionally,
I mean, you can figure out how old maybe you were and how old you are now, perhaps. So then you would get a rough year?
roundabouts 10 years ago.
Okay, so you'd say 2014?
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. So
Ballpark.
that isn't, and I'm assuming you were in California, yes?
No.
So you were not in California.
No, I don't have like personal history with Kamala.
Okay, so you weren't directly affected by Kamala.
No. The federal laws are the ones that I abhor.
Okay.
Right.
All right. Well,
and
she didn't have any control over federal laws.
I understand that. But in order to be a prosecutor, there's a certain amount of respect and acknowledgement you have to give to the federal government. Now, again, you and me are both from Florida, and you and me both have very different takes on federalism. You might be a little bit more well-read than me, That's fine. But we still have our differing opinions, you know.
Well,
So maybe you understand.
Well,
where I'm
maybe
coming
if
from.
I tell you a few facts, maybe you'd be interested, or more interested, and maybe it would be something that. So
yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. So between 2004 and 2011, she often deprioritized cases of drugs and drug peddling, and rather prioritized cases such as violent crime and repeat offenders. That was between 2004 to 2011. And she was known for this during her tenure during even like California's strictest laws in giving people more less scrutiny legally facing, provided that it was not violent in nature. And then between 2011 and 2017, she was the Attorney General of California, where she had faced scrutiny during this time over her stance on cannabis, as her attitudes were shifting towards legalization, right? Not medical, but literal legalization. In 2016, she supported California's Proposition 64, which legalized recreational marijuana of her state. And so now here we're talking about her as a U.S. Senator and vice presidential candidate. She had publicly advocated for the federal marijuana legalization, and she even co-sponsored the Marijuana Justice Act in 2019, which was specifically aimed at decriminalizing cannabis and address racial disparities in drug enforcement. So knowing that information, and that that's the case, would you be more in favor of voting for Kamala Harris?
Is there anything like going on with the ballot where she's saying she's gonna push for federal legalization, like with her?
Well,
with her being
considering that
elected?
she has publicly advocated for federal marijuana
In the past.
legalization in
In the past.
2019, I see no
Yeah, I
reason why
understand.
Kamala wouldn't do so in the future.
But like, has she said anything about it explicitly?
Good
'Cause, like,
question. I'm not sure.
Like this was the consensus about Obama too. Was like that he, oh, of course he's gonna, but then it never happened.
Well, they can try, but then of course it has to pass the House and the Senate, and then it has to go through the Supreme Court. So, obviously any one of those areas it can be stopped. The point is that it can be attempted, right? And so if I don't see Donald Trump at all wanting to decriminalize marijuana. Do you?
Oh, of course not. Well, I'm not voting for him though. Yeah, like again,
That's fair. You're not voting for anybody. I'm saying like that was something you care about. And so if that's something you care about, obviously for your own self-interest, it would behoove you to vote Kamala, because you have a higher probability of getting marijuana legalization at a federal level with Kamala.
I see where you're coming from, and
I'm just bringing up the strict cold calculus. Just.
Can I bring another point into this?
Sure.
Like under Biden, I think marijuana was like taken a notch down, right, from the drug list.
Yes, it was.
Which didn't happen before, right? I mean, I don't know, like it's a class whatever drug right now. But it was taken down, which is actually pretty good for the people that are being caught with marijuana, right on them. Even if it's for selling.
Real AG just posted in side chat that on Kamala Harris's own Twitter says legalize recreational marijuana, and it says Harris Wall's agenda. So she absolutely is in favor of legalizing marijuana.
Yeah. So if this was the breakneck issue for me, right? If this was the issue that I voted on, absolutely. Then yeah, that would be enough. Unless of course I saw something from Trump that said the same thing, and then we'd be back to square one. But as far as like what you were asking me, yeah, no, I definitely see how voting for her would help people like me, maybe. And I only say maybe because the U.S. does not have a good track record with this, man. I mean, we've been wanting legalization for how long
forever
now? Yeah, right. And a lot of people have campaiged on it, and a lot of things have
Did
been
you know
said.
that Kristi Noem, the one that wrote a book about how she shot her dog? Do you know what I'm talking about?
See, this is why I don't read as much as you, is because I don't like being exposed to shit like that. But
She wrote in her book how she hated a dog and so she shot it. Because that's apparently what farm girls do, and it's sometimes you got to do the hard stuff, and she decided to put that in her book. There was actually in her state, I forget if it's South or North Dakota. I'm sorry if I blank on what specific state she ran on. They actually passed legalization of marijuana, and then she decided to go straight to her state Supreme Court to challenge the legal merits, effectively circumventing what everybody wanted. Isn't that horrendous? Hello?
I mean, no, that sounds on par.
Anyway, that's beside the point. It's good talking to you, non-Euclidean.
Yeah, that was a rather moderate conversation. You and me got to talk about constitutional monarchy soon.
Sure. Sounds
awesome.
based. All right, I'm going to move you to the audience. All right, so let's take a look here. We've got, what is our next video, Daniel? Do you remember where we left off at?
Let's see. I mean, we were at him disregarding the MSG rally. I think we can leave the Epstein tapes for last if you want to, or
you want to leave that one for last? All right, why don't we call it Trump 15? We'll call it Trump 15. We'll leave it for last.
And perhaps 17. Yeah, 15 and 16, sorry.
Okay.
Because there's two of them.
Okay, yeah, I see. You want to leave those? Okay. We really should be numbering these.
Yeah, we can.
Properly.
Yeah, I mean, it's not in my head. It's like I know exactly like.
So we'll go to the next one.
Next time I will do better.
We'll go to 8.
So, I just got back from Israel about 2 weeks ago. They love Trump in Israel, just so you know, they love him. They love him and Bibi, they love them both.
Can I just say, is it weird calling him Bibi? It's kind of like when they called Joseph Stalin, back in World War, in the 20th century, we called him Uncle Joe, to humanize him a little bit. Is it a little like that? Am I crazy in thinking that it's kind of like that? Why do we call him such a cutesy name? It's just BB. I'm like, bro, he's literally bombing children. I don't know what to tell you. Anyway.
In Israel and had the opportunity to break the Yom Kippur fast with Bibi Netanyahu. What an amazing night that was. Cried with Israelis in the streets. They listen to me from Jerusalem. They really do this. Like all of you listen to me, all of you. I get back and they go, Sid, you want to speak at this MSG thing? I go, sure. Out of character for me to speak at a Nazi rally. I was just in Israel, but I took the gig. She is some sick bastard, that Hillary Clinton, huh? What a sick son of a bitch. The whole fuck.
Daniel Hume, you're a chemist, right? Is MSG bad for you?
Actually, it's not that great for you. Just so you know. It's not the best. It's not that bad. But
it's probably just salt, is it?
Yeah,
is MSG just salt? I thought it's just salt.
No, it's not just salt.
Okay,
it's not because it's.
We'll talk about that later. I'm
sodium monoglutamate.
Yeah,
yes.
yeah. Anyway, sorry.
Fucking party, a bunch of degenerates, low lives, Jew haters, and low lives. Every one of them.
It looks like Athena wants to speak.
I couldn't find my goddamn unmute button.
How you doing, Athena?
Fine.
You good? You're good.
Dodging things. Oh gosh.
What are you dodging? Some moderation that you got to do?
The usual. Yeah,
Of course.
the usual stuff. People bitching.
Hey, real quick. I have to take a quick break. Just a very quick moment. I'm going to just put it on a BRB real quick. I will be right back. Talk with Daniel. Fill up the air.
Hi, Daniel.
Hey, Hannah. How are you today?
Oh, the usual.
Are you voting tomorrow? Or when is it in your state? Did you vote already?
Long time ago.
Oh,
They send ballot. Yeah, we've been doing mail-in voting for over 20 plus years.
Dude, as usual, women are going to save the world. If anybody's going to save the world.
Yeah, I
So
think they're outvoting men by almost, what was it, 18, 20 points or something like
I don't know.
percent.
It's like I saw some statistics on the early voting when it comes to women versus men, and yeah, there's a lot of voting from women right now, and it's it is encouraging because usually women are like a bit more adult than men. Like I can see that in my life too. So I'm putting all my trust in women, as usual.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see what happens. I mean, Trump is not in the same position he was 4 years ago. That's for sure.
No, but there's like still like a lot of misogyny in the United States, and
it's terrible. Yeah. Oh God.
And this is why I think it's making it harder for her.
Yeah, but it's a certain group, so he's alienated enough of the other groups that he needs to win. It's because the group that is mainly his base, that's not enough.
I mean, they're very stable as a group, and they're pretty good at voting. But yeah, they're not enough. They definitely need to convince a lot of other people
There's a lot of independents now.
Yeah,
a lot of Democrats.
that is true.
Republicans. They're the ones that are going to make it. A lot of them are women, by the way.
Yeah, which is good. And also, like, I feel like the Dobbs decision, actually is kind of galvanizing a lot of women to actually vote and understand exactly what the consequences can be. Because if they did this to women, it's like, what's gonna stop them from going further? What is gonna stop them from having like removing the no-fault divorce? Like at the federal level, right? You're married, you can't get out of it. You're gonna stay there. Removing, I don't know, let's say marital rape as being a crime.
I had the discussion with people earlier. I could not believe that was even up for discussion. I couldn't believe that. I was like,
well, there are people that discuss removing the right to fucking vote.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, wasn't Trump the one that said, you have to vote, Christians, just vote this once and you never have to vote again? Well, maybe, that's what they're referring to.
It's crazy, man. Crazy.
These people that think overturning Roe v. Wade was a great idea, they don't understand the topic one bit. They don't understand the unintended consequences that this has had, giving it to the states where the states can actually ban it and criminalize it.
The problem that I have is like going after medically necessary conditions, or rather because how vague the laws really are. Because let's be honest, like these politicians, they're not doctors. They're not going to be able to have the nuanced understanding required for every single, medical situation. And the end result is that doctors are terrified of losing their way of life. So what'll happen is that
they're alienating the physicians. The physicians are too afraid to do anything. So
that they just don't do it. They don't do the procedure.
Consequences all the way down the line is what's going to happen is there aren't going to be women's health physicians. They're going to quit practicing, or the young ones are not going to go into this field for fear of being sued or being criminalized.
Or hell, I mean, I saw all sorts of clinics, abortion clinics, just disappearing. I saw it in Florida. I mean, clinics. It just disappeared because they decided to make the maximum age that you can even have an abortion to be 6 weeks. You're not even aware you're pregnant at 6 weeks. Like what?
But not just those clinics. The clinics that deal in just preventative care, STD, preventative pregnancies, all this kind of shit. There's a huge down line effect that this has happened in these states.
For
Yeah,
sure.
but it's only happening to women, Hannah. So is that even
It's not
important
men.
for them?
So because it's not men, it's not
Yeah.
important. Obviously, that's
Exactly. So it's like it's
Oh,
not
but
such
it
a big
does
deal
happen
for
to
them.
men. Because if
And
they're
you
gonna
know,
force
the
women to
thing
have-
is like I'm saying it as in a funny way, but we need to be understanding that there are people who are literally thinking seriously this way. They're literally seriously thinking it's like, yeah, it's just women. It's like it's fine. It's not like it's happening to a man. That's
depth
important.
charge. If you just want to have a quick discussion about it, we can. I see you in side chat, and don't worry, I won't have everybody gang up on you. It could just be a one-on-one if you would like. All you got to do is raise your hand. Oh darn, he doesn't want to show up. Darn. Anyway, let's go ahead. We're gonna continue this video here. Let's see here. He was talking about Netanyahu.
This guy was awful.
Yeah.
Every one of them. Look at my city. Look at my city. Yes, this building is beautiful. You're all beautiful. Look at you. But you can't walk outside past about 10 o'clock at night here. If you're a pretty woman like my beautiful wife Danielle out there somewhere, you get punched across the face just for walking down the street. Who did that? Bill de Blasio, Eric Adams, shitty Democrat mayors. Andrew Cuomo, Kathy Hochul, shitty Democrat governors.
Well, he is right there.
You got.
I'm only gonna give him that.
It's crazy.
But yeah,
man.
I mean, calling them all degenerates and everything. It's like, yeah, nobody bats an eye. Nobody bats an eye. Yeah.
Well, J.D. Vance today went on a tirade and called Kamala trash. That they're going to take out the trash tomorrow.
Yeah.
And that is Kamala Harris.
Hey, it says
Nobody's
here,
gonna
Depth
bat an
Charge
eye.
Media says there will be no discussion between you and I in a 1v1 setting unless there is someone to moderate your bad behavior. Hey, Athena, would you be willing to moderate my bad behavior?
Sure.
All right, we got one. You ready, Depth Charge? Okay, he's not going to do it. All right, that's what I thought.
No,
Anyway,
he just wants to sling bullshit.
we're gonna go to the next video here. It says here, Trump 9 Puerto Rican response after the MSG. Did we already do this one? No, because this is the
No.
MSG.
Oh no, it's
rally.
Latino remarks.
Okay, here we go.
Are you Puerto Rican?
Yes, I am.
You are. Did anything that happened at Madison Square Garden last week?
Yes. Yes, it did.
Wait, bro, what? That was so immediate. Like he didn't even finish his question. It was just like, yeah.
Yes, it did affect my decision a lot.
What was it like to hear that Puerto Rico is floating garbage in the ocean?
It was horrible because it is not true. It is nice for them to go on vacation, I bet, to my island and enjoy the beautiful people all over there in the culture. But you're going to call us trash? How much have we contributed? Because my people go to war just like every other American citizen here in the United States.
You are American citizens.
Yes.
You're
that's what I'm saying.
non-immigrants. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like every other American citizen here, we all go to war.
The MAGA folks, the Trump folks are saying, oh, it's a joke. It's not a big deal. It's
No,
not
it's
making
not a joke. That was not a joke.
Were you leaning towards him before this?
I would say yes.
Sorry about that. So something just happened in my chat. Unironically, I did not delete your message, AC Vocal. Like it says, I saw what you said. Like, yeah, sometimes I misbehaved. I didn't delete that. I want to let you know that I did not delete that. Just FYI. I don't mind critiques, right? I mean, I guess the only thing that I would end up deleting if you were like doxing or something, but was it, I don't know. Was it you? Because I didn't do it. I unironically didn't do it. Anyway, let's continue the video. I apologize.
And now?
No.
You think it's going to make a difference in the election?
Yes, it's going to make a difference.
Do you think that the Puerto Rican community could
Yes, absolutely.
decide who's going to be president?
Yes. As a female, we were already leaning more towards Kamala when it has to do with women's rights. So now you just pushed us even more. Now you pushed the Puerto Rican women even more.
You said you were leaning towards him to vote, and now you're like,
Wow. I didn't want to say so, but no, he doesn't have my vote.
Thank you.
That's crazy. I never saw that video, Daniel.
And it was so instant. It's like you could just see like the instant, right?
It was like
she immediately is like, yeah. It's like I know. It's like I
they're
know
like,
exactly.
okay, hey, you're Puerto Rican, and they were like, so did you see what happened at Madison Square Garden? Yes, and then like, did what happened at Madison Square Garden? And then like, she didn't even bat an eye. She's like, yes, it impacted. Like she didn't even finish the question. Let's hear that again. That was incredible.
Are you Puerto Rican?
Yes, I am.
You are. Did anything that happened at Madison Square Garden last week?
Yes.
Bro, that's gold. That's gold.
Yeah, it is.
It's like instantaneous.
I saw responses from other Puerto Ricans, right? It's like I saw other Puerto Ricans,
and they're
the
just
reason
like,
I chose this
yes,
one
that
is
affected
for
me.
this. Yeah, like the immediacy of the response and like the very clear exactly why she was pissed. Not only that,
I get it.
Like why
I'd be
everybody else
pissed
in the
too.
community is pissed.
Like if I mean, to be fair, like I was never voting Trump with or without him crapping on. But like if there was a random candidate that started like, I don't know, trashing on like Chileans. I'm Chilean, by the way. My parents come from Chile.
Yeah.
I would be legitimately pissed off. I'd be like, what are you doing? Like, obviously you don't want my vote. Like, I just wouldn't vote. I wouldn't vote for the person that trash talks, you know, where my parents come from. I would not want you. Right. That's like obviously obvious to me, you know. Anyway, it says here, turnout was higher this election too. Yes, we're actually, you know, this is just in my precinct, right? Obviously I can't speak for other precincts, but in my precinct, I've been to like early voting and I've also been to, you know, day of election. Usually day of election, we're usually like crazy where, you know, you could see 200-300 people in line. And, you know, you'd have to be in line for, you know, a good 45 minutes or an hour to get your vote in. That happened during early voting, right? So,
oh, wow.
At least, like, I was a week ahead of schedule. And there was a line that was just snaking all outside of the building. And it was, I mean, it was a lot. You know, and I have to.
If I'm wrong. Wasn't 2020 one of the biggest like?
It's going to be bigger even now.
Presence.
It's going to be bigger now.
Yeah, it was like
for sure,
and now it's going to be bigger. Like holy.
For sure.
Okay.
That's
going to be a lot of votes.
Mind you, right? That's a personal anecdote. All I know is what is going to happen in terms of, you know, what I saw in my precinct. Obviously, I'm not going to really fully know until we see what happens. Anyway, that was an incredible video. I'm glad you found that, Daniel. We'll go to the next one here.
Yeah, well, it was pretty good.
Trump 10 comparison to the Nazi rally.
Oh, yeah. Get whatever they want, don't they? 5-star hotels, cash. Probably get Yankee Dodger tickets tomorrow night.
Great floods of tears for a few 100,000 job-taking so-called poor Jewish refugees who incidentally in general have more of this world's goods than you or I will ever possess.
Floods of tears for a few 100,000 job-taking so-called poor Jewish refugees who incidentally in general have more of this world's goods than you or I will ever possess. That was from the 1939 rally. That speaker was Gerhard Kunz, who was a German-American Bund leader who would ultimately be indicted for both espionage and sedition, leading the crowd to denounce these so-called refugees, these so-called poor people who get so much better treatment than real Americans.
I mean, okay, so let's
change at all.
Let me at least try to put a little bit of pushback. Okay, I'll give a little bit of pushback here. I don't believe that Donald Trump is literally a Nazi. I don't believe his rhetoric is at the level of a Nazi. With that being said, however, I do believe that it is fascist adjacent. It is adjacent. It's like a fascism light, if you will. Does that make sense? Like,
yeah, but I think so. Look, I would put it more like Mehdi Hassan is putting it, which is like, yeah, you don't have to call him like Hitler. You don't have to call him like a Nazi. But you could look at this rally at the Madison Square Garden, and you can say, well, that's a very Hitler-like rally. That's a very Nazi-like rally, right? So, and the comparison between this one and the one like 80 years ago is very apt, right? Like literally, because that was the important thing, right? Like that guy, we saw him earlier, railing against Hillary Clinton for calling a spade, right? And for calling the fact that what they're doing is exactly what the American Nazis did like 80 years ago in the same place. Okay, and this guy that was calling Hillary Clinton, which she's deserving of a lot of criticism. Let's be very honest, right? She was calling her like a son of a bitch for calling them Hitlerian adjacent, right? Is having the same rhetoric that those same people were having 80 years ago in the same place. Okay, so imagine the irony, right? He was doing exactly what those people were doing 8 years ago, and those people were Nazis, right? And the guy that had the same lines that he was having was indicted for espionage and sedition. Okay, so that's funny, right? If you think about it.
Yeah. I mean, like, okay, I hope that makes sense though from my perspective. I mean,
sure
like,
it's
because
I agree.
Right at the beginning, like Hitler was arguing right at the beginning, that what we need to do about the Jewish scum. And it was very clear, like straight away, what was going to happen. And that is not so relevant or prevalent regarding Trump, but it's very, very similar. And that's what concerns me, right? Because I believe that we're the United States. You know what? I got an impromptu video for you. I got a good one.
Let's go.
Hold on. Let me give me a moment to grab it real quick, and I'm going to share it because I think it's a very good video. Hold on a sec.
And look, it's like I've heard this kind of criticism like a lot before, right? It's like, don't call Trump Hitler, and I agree with it. And look, it's like the only person that actually called him Hitler is J.D. Vance, okay? So it's still J.D. Vance is the only one that actually called him Hitler. So it's like, I don't know why people are not picking on J.D. Vance for being this, okay?
And his generals called him a fascist.
Yeah,
no one else
and calling him a fascist, I think it's apt. I think calling him a fascist, there's a lot of evidence behind that statement. Calling him a Nazi, not as much. Calling him Hitler, not as much. But to say that he has like Nazi-like
markers. He's got
rhetoric,
that's
different.
For being fascist. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I think the case is kind of closed.
Let me say, he's a wannabe fascist. He really doesn't have the power for that.
Oh, no. So it's like a fascist is determined by what you think, not what you are able to achieve, right? So it's like you might be really, really good at bringing up fascism. Doesn't mean you're not a fascist, because it's all about your wants, right, and ideals,
for sure,
rather than your capacity of actually making it a reality.
Okay, I got you. All right, so here it is. This comes from a film, and I recommend watching the full film, not just this clip, because I think the full film really encapsulates everything. But the full film, I think, is like 50 minutes. This one's only a 2-minute clip from the film Don't Be a Sucker.
I happen to know the facts. Now, friends,
well, that's a good one.
I'm just an average American. But I'm an American. And some of the things I see in this country of ours make my blood boil. I see people with foreign money. I see Negroes holding jobs that belong to me and you. Now I ask you, if we allow this thing to go on, what's going to become of us real Americans?
I've heard this kind of talk before, but I never expected to hear it in America.
This fellow seems to know what he's talking about. What are we real Americans going to do about it? You'll find it right here in this little pamphlet. The truth about Negroes and foreigners. The truth about the Catholic Church.
Do you believe in that kind of talk?
I don't know, makes pretty good sense to me. And I tell you, friends, we'll never be able to call this country our own until it's a country without. Without what? Yeah, without what? Without Negroes. Without alien foreigners. Without Catholics. Without Freemasons. You know Masons. What's wrong with the Masons? I'm a Mason. Hey, that fellow's talking about me.
And that makes a difference, doesn't it?
These are your enemies. These are the people who are trying to take over our country. Now you know them. You know what they stand for. And it's up to you and me to fight them. Fight them and destroy them before they destroy us. Thank you.
Before he said Masons, you were ready to agree with him.
Well, yes, but he was talking about... What about those other people?
But in this country, we have no other people. We are American people.
What about you? You aren't American, are you?
I was born in Hungary, but now I am an American citizen. And I have seen what this kind of talk can do. I saw it in Berlin.
What were you doing there?
I was a professor at the university. I heard the same words we have heard today. But I was a fool then. I thought Nazis were crazy people, stupid fanatics. But unfortunately, it was not so.
It's powerful, is it not? Anyway, it looks
well,
like...
I mean, this. I'm gonna tell you what this reminds me of before you get Extremo to come here. So there was like this guy that was like a big Nazi supporter. He was like a Lutheran pastor in Nazi Germany, like Martin Niemöller. And he said the famous quotes where it's like, first they came for the socialists, right? And I didn't speak out because I was not a socialist. Then they came for the trade unionists, and I did not speak out because I was not a trade unionist. Then they came for the Jews, and I did not speak out because I was not a Jew. Then they came for me, and there was no one left to speak for me. And this is the problem. The problem that it's always, they're always going to talk maybe about some group you're not part of. And it's easy to say, yeah, fuck those people. I don't care. I'm not Haitian. I'm not trans. I'm not gay, right? But then they will eventually come for you because the group is going to be smaller and smaller and smaller.
And that's concerning. Anyway, it looks like we have Extremo that would like to speak, so we're going to go ahead and invite Extremo. Come on up, Extremo.
Yo.
What you got, Extremo?
I mean, bro, he's pro-black. He's American. He's pro all American. Dude.
Well, you heard the
Can
part.
You point to me to any rhetoric that he said that would make you think that he's like antithetical to Jews or black or anything like that?
Yeah, you heard the part where this guy in the 1940s movie that they were talking about foreigners, a world without foreigners.
Right.
Okay, and so like take for example that you have a comedian that comes in and says that, Puerto Rico is, a garbage dump. and rather than Trump disavowing it, he simply said, I have no idea who this comedian is. And that's it.
Okay.
I'm just saying, isn't that a concern to you?
I mean, he denounced the guy that said it. Don't you think that's equivalent?
If he denounced it, then we wouldn't be having this conversation, but he didn't denounce it.
Well, maybe that's because he believes that Puerto Rico is okay, let me be
so
very generous.
That's my problem. The rhetoric is the same.
Okay. You're saying that believing that the country is a shithole country is equivalent to wanting to get rid of people in that are of that country from this country? Like, do you think those are equivalency?
All right. Fair enough. Those are not equivalent, but I could easily then talk about how Trump wants to deport over 20 million immigrants in the United States.
Illegal immigrants.
There's 20 million illegal immigrants in the United States?
I think there's no way to definitely know how many illegal immigrants there are in the country.
What's to say that you can't have a legal immigrant and make them and revoke citizenship, say if they have a green card?
Mm-hmm. Is that his position? Are you saying that he doesn't want any migration?
That could be a thing, right?
Okay,
the point
but
is that he has explicitly even in his own hotel, having been sued in the 1980s for being caught being racist towards his tenants. Why would it be any different now?
I think that well, you know, they've already that's already been debunked, right? Like that was the whole thing in itself. But I don't think that you could point at anything that he's done as the president, right? Because that's really what we're concerned about, what he could do as president. You can't point at any legislation that is indicative that he is a bigot towards any race of people.
So you're saying that that was not, that never happened.
That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that you can't point to any legislation that is indicative of him being a bigot.
So
I
he's
mean,
not a
unless
bigot.
Muslim,
So let me just be clear, right? He faced allegations of discriminatory practices against minorities in the 1970s. And in 1973, the U.S. Department of Justice sued Trump's organization for refusing to rent apartments to black people in their buildings. The lawsuit accused the company of marking applications from black rental applicants with a C for colored and systematically denying them housing. It was settled in 1975 without an admission of guilt, but the Trump organization was required to take steps to prevent future discrimination. So that include advertising vacancies to minority groups and providing Urban League weekly list of vacancies. I guess the point that I'm trying to make is that Donald Trump did do this, right? Trump's organization did do this in the past.
Trump's organization did this.
Yes. And who's the leader of Trump's organization?
Well, the stockholders.
Who's the no, come on. They're not an IPO. Who is the leader of the Trump's organization?
You know, like Trump is, right? Obviously. But like at the end of the day, like the interest of the company is to make money. And like what Mike, if I want to make a counter argument to that, I would simply have to prove to you that Donald Trump did rent out to black people. Like I can point if it's two black people, I can make that case, right? If it's one black person, I can make that case. But what you're insinuating is that he did not rent to any black people.
Okay.
Right? That's what I'm assuming.
No, that's not what I said. What I'm saying is that he denied applicants simply for them being black. That was proven by the Justice Department.
Okay. If it was proven by the Justice Department, then he should have been found guilty. There's a lot of laws.
Yeah, so usually if you can settle out of court, it doesn't actually prove guilt, right? Obviously, you would settle out of court, and then that would go away, right? It's a civil lawsuit, not a criminal trial, and so it is possible to settle with the parties involved. But hell, I mean, what we're arguing, right? I don't need to even go back as far back as 1973. You know, I mean, we can look at his Muslim travel ban. We could talk about his, very fine people quote regarding the white supremacist rally in Charlottesville, Virginia. We could talk about his statements regarding Mexican immigrants, where he was calling them rapists and criminals. We can also talk about his 1989 in the Central Park Five, where he's advocating for the death penalty of 5 black and Latino teenagers accused of assaulting women in Central Park, even after the fact that DNA evidence had exonerated them. So what exactly am I supposed to, this is my problem, right? What am I supposed to gather, right? This guy seems to just kind of be anti-immigrant, anti-minority, and his policies show that.
Okay, well, what policy can you point to me that would clearly indicate what you just said? Like, let's attack the logical ones, right? Like
the Muslim travel ban of 2017.
Okay, what was the intent of that? What was the intent?
It was to restrict travel from predominantly Muslim countries.
For the purpose of what?
National security.
Okay, but why?
Because he believed that Muslims bomb people.
Why? No. Okay, wait. Hold on. Why would he believe this?
Because Muslims, extremists exist.
Okay. All right. All right.
I would just target the people that could do that, not all Muslims.
Well, you kind
It's
of
like
can.
really dumb to
Kinda hard to
target. No,
figure that out, right?
no. Actually,
It's not
we
simple,
can.
right? Like,
We
how do
have
you
an
know that?
intelligence community.
How do
We
you know that?
absolutely can.
Yeah, and they still they have to work around the clock to make sure that they know who's who, and they still, I mean, I would argue, don't know who's who. Like they're still figuring that out. Like where everybody, it's like a
Are
constant
we still
process.
talking about the Muslim travel ban, or are we talking about the
Yeah,
border crisis?
about well, just no, we're talking about the Muslim travel ban, the reasoning behind the Muslim travel ban.
All
The
right. Well, the Muslim
Muslim,
travel ban, right, is not
hold on. The quote, hold
efficacious.
on. The quote, listen. The quote unquote Muslim ban, because to me, it makes sense to block out just the entirety of travel from a country that is like countries like the ones that were blocked from having travel, because these countries are shithole countries. They're like, I mean, you agree that the government in those countries are bad governments that are dangerous and that are antithetical to United States interests. And I would argue to the safety anti. They're for the like they're trying to attack us. That's
By the
their
way,
intent.
just as a side note, right? Depth
The
charge
government.
media is saying Amender's telling a lie that we've known to be a lie for literal years, saying no, Trump did not call neo-Nazis and white supremacists very fine people. No, he didn't call them strictly very fine people. He said there's very fine people on both sides, which included neo-Nazis. So yeah, that's kind of there you go. Wow, clarified. We did it. Anyway, sorry. So back to the Muslim travel ban. You know, I would want a targeted. I would want a targeted system to targeting specific individuals, not an entire country, right? On the basis that they're Muslim, right? That to me is a
Not because
racist.
of the government of the country, but it's not.
Well, no, I just think it's racist, right? And so like when I'm pulling up this 1940s, you know, piece. Talking about this guy that, you know, wants to live in a country free of foreigners, you know, seeing Donald Trump say things like the Muslim travel ban is an example of things that I don't want, that is anti-American. It's opposite of America, and it's racist. Yeah.
Okay, so you basically answered why the travel Muslim, quote unquote Muslim travel ban exists. But I want to ask you a question.
I would apply a targeted aspect, not whether or not that they're brown.
Oh, no, you agree that it should be done, but like, you just think that it should be more
what they
targeted.
worship.
Fair enough. Right.
Yeah,
But
like I would be like an intelligent person that doesn't just look at a group of people and go, "Oh, they're all bad." Right?
Well, depends on the situation.
Bro.
Yeah, bro.
Depends on what? No. Here's the thing, right? Extremo. That's correct. It does depend. It depends by each individual for each individual, not the entire country.
Yes, I think it's fair to ban travel from an entire country if there's justification for it.
Like
legal
North Korea?
I mean, okay. That's great. We're in the right track, right? There's another.
I actually think it's the other way around. North Korea
right?
bans
Like we should let,
us, not the other.
Like people migrate from North Korea, right? Because like generally, but like I think that like if the government of a country is antithetical to American interests and it's already announced that their intent is to do harm to these to us, I think it's reasonable for us to.
Is all Muslims intent to harm us?
Excuse me?
Is all Muslims intent to harm us?
No.
Okay, so targeting the entire country, creating a Muslim travel ban is
hold up.
Racism, right? It's just racist. Let me ask you this: is a Muslim travel ban racist? Is it racist?
Okay, hold on.
That's a simple question. I need you to answer my question, and then you can explain.
Well, okay.
Is it racist? Yes or no, and then explain.
Wait, listen. I'll answer your question, then let me explain. All right, you told me that. All right. Yes, it is racist to have a Muslim travel ban in your country if you restrict all Muslims, right? But let me ask you this: if you were Muslim in you fucking in Portugal, or no, not Portugal, fucking Spain or whatever, like a country that's friendly to the United States, were you allowed to travel to America during that Muslim travel ban? Yes or no, sir?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if they did it based off of people's passports or where they were coming out of. I don't know.
Okay. Well, you should figure that out because
I
a
don't think that
Muslim
matters.
travel ban
I think the
only
point is
no,
that
I
you
think it
create a
absolutely
Muslim
matters.
travel
You
ban
can only
where
call
you
something a Muslim
restricting
travel
travel
ban if you're
from
actually
Muslim countries.
is to ban Muslims and not people from specific countries. I think that's
All right.
fair.
Well, no, I don't. I don't think that's fair at all.
Well,
Anyway,
okay, you don't.
do
you
you have
don't think
anything?
it's fair
Do you have
to,
anything else for me? Because it's just crazy to me.
well, I mean, I think I made a pretty good case for myself. I mean, I don't know what else to tell you,
I'll
bro.
give you the last word, homie.
I think the people on the left need to be careful about what rhetoric they're spewing.
Yeah, I think Republicans do
Yeah,
too. Sorry, wait.
I agree.
I'm letting you have the last word. Sorry. Go again.
I agree.
I couldn't help
That's it.
myself.
I think we're in agreement, Mender. I think we
All
need to
right.
stop being so hyperbolic.
That's fair.
I agree.
All right, Extremo. I'm gonna move you down.
Salam alaikum, bro.
Yeah, I always love this idea of like you have one party that has fascist rhetoric, and they're having the fascist rhetoric, right?
Yeah.
And the other side is criticizing them for having fascist rhetoric. But you know what? It's like both sides need to cool down.
So where were we now?
Right?
We're gonna move over to Trump 10. Was it right? I think we were on Trump 10. I'm almost
Yeah,
certain
we're
that
starting
we were
with
on Trump 10.
yeah.
Yeah.
We're starting with the big guy.
Yeah, let's see. Here. Hold on.
Tony
Trump-
Hinchcliffe.
We're gonna look at Trump 10, everybody. Here we go.
Yeah, the MSG Latino.
Wait, is this the comparison to the Nazi rally?
It's the next one.
Yeah.
I
We
think
gotta
I
go to
changed
11.
them a bit in
All right,
there.
11.
In Texas, stuff is really, really crazy. We're right there by a wide open border. Where are my proud Latinos at tonight? You guys see what I mean? It's wide open. There's so many.
Can you pause it a bit?
It's absolutely
Bro,
incredible.
wait, hold on.
You know who's a Latino?
What?
Do you know who's a Latino? Do you know?
Anybody
who?
from Central America, South
Extremo.
America?
Extremo.
Yes, Extremo
Extremo is a Latino. He's literally talking about him, right? Like in this one. So maybe he should listen to this one, right? And see exactly where
I don't think he's ever
the
going to get
violent
convinced.
rhetoric
I'll
is
be honest
coming
with
from.
you. I've known him for years.
he's
I don't think he's getting
hilarious.
convinced. Anyway,
I know.
Here we go.
I know. It's just funny that way.
Believe it or not, people, I welcome migrants to the United States of America with open arms. And by open arms, I mean like this. It's wild. And these Latinos, they love making babies too. Just know that. They do. They do. There's no pulling out. They don't do that. They come inside, just like they did to our country.
I love how he had to do like a Southern accent for that one to like kind of
Republicans
like
are
hide
the
it.
party with a good sense of humor.
Yeah,
yeah,
it's like
real,
such good humor,
good
right?
humor.
So
yeah,
such
good humor. Love
Yeah,
that humor. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Amazing.
I'm falling short of the humor here, but anyway, we're gonna go on to the next one. We got Trump 12.
There's a lot going on. Like, I don't know if you guys know this, but there's literally a floating island of garbage in the middle of the ocean right now. Yeah. I think it's called Puerto Rico. Okay. All right. Okay. We're getting there.
I mean, we all, we can.
Yeah, this is everybody saw it probably.
Yeah, I mean, we all saw this, and we all go back to what the person said. The Puerto Rican responding after the MSG comments, right? So let's look.
Are you Puerto Rican?
Yes, I am.
You are. Did anything that happened at Madison Square Garden last week?
Yes.
That's it. Yes.
I I don't know. You know, it is possible. Wouldn't it be crazy if what turns the tide is in fact the comment made by this comedian? Wouldn't that just be crazy? Calling
I was thinking that.
Like, here's the thing, right? Like, you have to understand that Puerto Rico is a territory of the United States. There's lots of Puerto Ricans that can come and go into the country legally, right? So there's a lot of legal voting Puerto Rican citizens. They're Americans.
They're literally American citizens.
So the question is Extremo saying Puerto Rico sucks. Man, bro. Yeah. Well, you need them for votes, and saying that Puerto Rico is
Extremo's not Puerto Rican though.
No, he's not. He's Mexican.
Mexican.
Well, this is the thing, Hannah, right? And I'm going to go back to the quote that I was having earlier, right, from Martin Niemöller, right? First, they came for the Puerto Ricans, but I didn't say anything. I didn't speak out because I was not a Puerto Rican. Next, they came for Mexicans, and you know what? When they will come for the Mexicans that are, let's say, legally in the United States, there's not going to be anybody there to protect you and to speak for you and to speak out in your name. That's how it happens.
Yeah, completely. Yeah. I mean, for sure. For sure. That's exactly what I've observed. Anyway, we can go to the next one here. We have Trump 13, Tony MSG, Travis Kelce on black people.
I like it. I have other policies that I think it should be implemented as well. Like me personally, I think football should be all year round. Yeah. So many great athletes. I don't know about you guys, but I think that Travis Kelce might be the next O.J. Simpson.
Did you catch that? You know what he's saying?
I did not.
Right? Okay,
no. Go ahead.
You pause it a bit.
Here, I'll pause it. Go ahead.
So this guy, because I had to look it up, right? Because like I saw this, I was like, who the fuck is Travis Kelce? Because I'm not that into sports, and especially like American sports, right? So I had to go, who is this Travis Kelce? And I found out that Travis Kelce is the boyfriend of what's her name?
Taylor Swift.
The singer. Taylor Swift. Yes.
Swift.
Oh yeah,
exactly,
yeah.
So what he's saying, oh, he's gonna kill her. Don't worry, guys. It's like we're gonna get rid because they hate her for some reason, right? Because she's against Trump.
Ew.
That's what he's saying. That's the misogyny behind it, right? It's like, oh yeah, don't worry, he's gonna kill her. It's like it's fine, and we're gonna find him not guilty too. We're gonna find him not guilty. He's gonna kill her, and we're gonna say he's not guilty. Don't worry about it. It's all done, right? That's a joke. Okay, let's put that in perspective. That is a joke that the Trump campaign vetted. They said, yeah, that's fine, Joe. That's okay.
This is horrendous. I mean, it's not even remotely acceptable.
Yes. Yeah, of course.
Anyway, let's continue.
And it's like, again, the Puerto Rican garbage island, not the most egregious thing, the singular egregious thing in that rally.
Yeah, that's just messed up, man.
Other side's got a lot of crazy endorsements. Swift, Eminem, Leo DiCaprio, Beyonce. Every day the Democratic Party looks more and more like a P. Diddy party.
Bro.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's what you guys want. All right, heck yeah.
Well, that's what they want, the P. Diddy party.
I'm just curious, like, is Tony Hinchcliffe like on damage control or like what? What's going on with like Tony Hinchcliffe now?
I mean, maybe he's like a plant from the Democratic Party to make things worse for the Trump campaign. I don't know.
His act relied on several racist stereotypes. He talked about carving watermelons with black people, making rock, paper, scissors joke involving Palestinians throwing rocks.
I think in a comedy club, all that shit would be just fine. At a rally, I think it's fucking lowbrow.
Well, Hannah, it actually didn't go well in the comedy club because he literally did the same set the night before at some comedy club in New York, and it bombed. It bombed there too, right? And he literally said on the stage that he's like, don't worry, I'm gonna do it tomorrow at Madison Square Garden, and I'm not gonna bomb there because the public is different.
Yeah, bombed into there.
I mean, like, I'll be honest. Like, if I heard this at a comedy club, I would not enjoy it. I would leave. I'd be like, I don't want to be here for
Pauly
this.
Shore comedy club routine, and he was just as vile, if not worse. I left.
I mean,
I don't think
mind you, right?
those-
Like one of my favorite, honestly, like one of my favorite comedy bits is, and I think it's an acquired taste, but I think it is super funny. Is have you ever heard of the Aristocrats?
I don't think so.
Oh my goodness, what was the by Gilbert Gottfried. Gilbert Gottfried's The Aristocrats. We're not streaming that.
Okay, is that bad?
It's bad. It's also incredibly funny. It's really freaking funny, and it goes on way too long. But I think it's part of the fun of it. Anyway, that's so like I can enjoy like dirty and crass humor, but it's like I guess like the problem that I'm having is that I don't know, maybe it's because it's like it's being done at the expense of other people where they, you know, it doesn't really result in like a beneficial outcome in any way. Like it's almost it's kind of like you never punch down, you always punch up. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
That's kind of where the way I'm thinking of. Anyway, we'll finish this.
What the hell is that? A lampshade? Look at this guy. Oh,
Jesus. All right. Anyway,
yeah, where he was picking on like I think I cut it a bit badly this one, but yeah, he was just like making fun about a black guy. Is like, oh, he's my friend. We carved watermelons together for Halloween. It's like, okay, cool.
Jesus.
Like you got all the stereotypes. You're such a great comedian. We would have never thought about that joke.
Yeah. Anyway, we'll look at the next one here. Another Tony one here. Let's see here. What is this?
when it comes to Israel and Palestine, we're all thinking the same thing.
Nope.
Settle your stuff already.
Nope.
Best out of 3. Rock, paper, scissors. You know the Palestinians are going to throw rock every time. But you also know the Jews have a hard time throwing that paper. You know what I'm saying?
It's
so
right,
funny.
it's
Oh my
We're
God.
cooking.
Yes.
It's too
Crazy.
soon. It's
Stereotypes are not always funny.
Exactly.
well, it's
Yeah,
well,
especially
one,
when you
it's
have
too soon.
only
2,
that.
it's like a cheap stereotype. 3, it's like, I mean, here's the thing, man. Like I said, like I will enjoy a good like a crass joke, but I mean, can you imagine, like, Athena, if like that there was a Republican comedian that started making fun of 9/11 and like the people that died in 9/11? Completely unacceptable, right? Like right after 9/11, like I don't think people are going to be able to joke about 9/11 until, like, I don't know, 80 or 90 years, where like everybody who experienced 9/11 is basically gone, right? And it has like a Titanic effect. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I definitely do.
Anyway, I have one final video for y'all. And this video I picked out myself. So I know what it has, and it's incredible. You want to see some comedy? Here comes some comedy. Real comedy. It's coming.
For 9 years, we've had the biggest rallies in history of any country. And every rally's full. You don't have any seats that are empty. You don't have anything yet. I mean, the one we had today, you missed a beauty. We could have filled that place up 20 times. I mean, that was beautiful. And the Virginia rally, did you hear about the Virginia rally? That was on. Glenn Youngkin did a great job.
Oh
the
my
governor.
God.
And they had a crowd there that was incredible. And, and we don't want to be late, but it's very hard when you do these things. It's very hard, and you don't mind a little bit. We weren't very late. Just a few minutes.
I hope he wasn't fired.
Look at this. Yeah, just like not even the bottom row is filled. Like if you look, like it's not filled.
It's sad in a way. It's beautiful.
Yeah, there's a lot of empty.
It's not filled. It's
To
just
an end. These rallies are coming to an end. We've been doing them, think of it, for like 9 years. We started a year before, and
I mean,
look how many people are leaving. Why is everyone leaving?
phenomenally.
I mean,
like the
because
one where they
Kamala
cut the
Harris was right.
3% chance.
Why is everyone leaving? They're like, all right, I'm bored.
Sort of like amazing, right? 3%.
I'm bored. Screw this.
Remember at the debate when Kamala said,
well, I went to Iowa.
you know, that's what happens to his
48,000
rallies. People are
and she had
leaving,
about
and they're not that many
300
people. He got triggered.
And then we went
this
to
is
another one
reality.
in another state. We had 49,000 people. She had 243 people. And I kept saying,
Such a
why are we
liar.
going to lose? Why? Why? Why are we going to
God,
lose? And we
dude.
didn't lose, you know. We ended up winning. And we ended up
So
winning the
empty.
presidency.
Holy.
Right?
Now he's talking about
And that was an exciting
Hillary,
night.
not
Remember how
Kamala.
it started? It started with a bunch of fake
He
news.
hates he
Look,
has to
the-
run against Kamala. He wanted to
He needed
run against
Biden.
Biden.
He needed Biden if he wanted to win.
Yeah.
That's crazy, though. Imagine being the cameraman and having, I guess, the
doing
gumption, the gumption to just
fake
do
news, the
this.
flickers, I call them now. I'm sort of lightening up. I'm starting
I'm
to
telling you,
like
that
them
guy
too.
has like a big pair of balls.
I don't know what it would be
for
like to
doing
get
this.
good publicity. I really don't. They treat me so
I got to go back to the beginning. It's too good.
9 years, we've had the biggest rallies in history of any country. And every rally's full.
Because
You
if
don't
other
have any
countries have
seats
these
that
kind of
are
rallies.
empty. You don't have anything. I mean, the one we had today, you missed
I mean,
out.
to be
You
fair, right? Hitler had pretty big rallies.
Yes, I was thinking about
He
that.
had really big
Yes,
rallies.
like,
You know,
Kim
Obama.
Jong-il.
Obama had some big rallies, like really big
100,000
rallies.
people in Portland, Oregon. He had.
Yeah.
It was huge.
We could have filled that place up 20 times.
That is
I mean, that was
hilarious.
beautiful.
Like
And, the Virginia
literally
rally, did you hear
disproving
about the
him
Virginia
in real
rally?
time,
That was
like within
real time.
seconds. Just proving him wrong is that is incredible. That's amazing. You can't make this stuff up. It's amazing. All right, so what did y'all think? Did you guys like the show? Did you enjoy it? I hope you did.
Dude, we have the Epstein tapes.
Oh
There's 2 more.
shoot, you're right. Yeah, because we
We have the
renamed.
Epstein tapes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So these are parts where apparently Jeffrey Epstein was talking about Donald Trump. So here we go. We're going to pull up Trump 15, the Epstein tapes.
So how do you know this?
That was close to straight.
So I need the dump. Just give me dump.
First, it's fun. As you probably know, he had a scalp reduction. Because he had the same male pattern movement that we all have. He had his scalp moved and sterile. Donald's office, as you know, he made that. He used to be on the phone as that fake PR person. I also found it funny. I was sitting there listening to the guys from the Post talk, and Donald would say, yeah, he's a great guy. I loved working with him. And I sit there going, this is just amazing. And he'd say, Michael, come on, let's go to the office. And he'd say, tell me, what's it like in there? He'd say, you like having sex with your wife? How often do you? He'd say, it's great. Seriously, Michael, how often do you have sex? I mean, don't you want to go? You and I can go upstairs, or tomorrow come over. There's this girl's coming in from Los Angeles, part of the Hawaiian Tropic contest. So come over at 3 o'clock. You're going to have a great time. I promise you, Michael, it's just me and you. You're going to have a great time. Be up here at 3 o'clock. We can go upstairs. The whole time, Victoria's been on the phone listening. He set it up because he wants to Victoria. So he has you on, because as an avoid conversation.
Whoa, what was that interference?
Yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah.
That's the tape.
Crackle.
Come on, you must have had a better wife, right? I said, yes. Tell me about it. And the wife's arm is speakerphone listening to Donald and said, you know, I know you, well, I think you're really hot. And I know you think you're a guy. Michael is like the end of the world, the best guy on earth, he's will be married to him. You're wrong. Just listen to the next 20 minutes. And go with the rubbers, set you up.
So he's basically in this portion talking about cheating on his wife, basically, right here, right?
Not only that, he's talking about cheating on his wife while his wife is listening. Okay, and he knows she's listening. Okay, and he's talking with Jeffrey Epstein. And it's like, you know, we can bring these girls,
Goodness.
you know, from the whatever Hawaiian tropical contest
That is
or whatever.
heavy, bro.
And we're
That
just
is
gonna have a
heavy.
good time, grab them by the pussy, all that good stuff, you know.
Well, what am I supposed to say about that? Like, I mean, okay, here's, I'll give a little bit of defense here, right? If I was a billionaire, I'd sleep around. I mean, come on, let's be honest. Right? I'd be sleeping around like crazy. But to be fair, though, I probably wouldn't have a wife.
Yeah.
I'd be like, why would I?
At least that, right?
Why would I do that? Like, lock myself down? But that's just me. That's a different discussion entirely. But anyway, we got one more video, and then we'll call it, I suppose. We'll have a little commentary after, but we're going to listen to another Epstein tape. Trump is a horrible human being. Here we go.
So, just tell me about his intelligence.
With respect to real estate deals, really, he's a salesman. He knows real estate really well. Anything else but that, he knows nothing. No history. No strategy. As I started to say about executive function, the executive function says, and it's strange because construction by definition is just that. First you have the foundation, you have the steels going up, what stage? But in terms of his anything but real estate, he can't figure out if I fire Bannon, what happens tomorrow.
So cause and effect, that has no relationship. In analytic intelligence?
No.
Now what's this thing about that functionally he can't read, or he doesn't read, or
He doesn't really, he certainly can't read a balance sheet. Which is funny. Has no idea. He doesn't read. He reads page 6. So he's not functionally illiterate. But his reading comprehension of anything complicated is very good.
now what's other than he has
You know, when was this released, this video? Like, or rather, when was it taped? Do you know?
So these were taped. Yeah, it's like 2017.
Okay,
So
yeah,
that
because like,
was technically after the elections, and because they were like in this new batch of tapes that Michael Wolff actually released. They're literally talking about him, kind of talking about like his cabinet and like all the people, you know, that he needs to get in there and all that cool stuff, right? So it's not extremely clear if it's like, you know, before like January 20th or like after January 20th, but it's like kind of around there, right?
Mhm.
So it's after he's a president-elect, like regardless, right?
Yeah.
At this time, he already won the election, and that's why, like, you know, he's talking about like Bannon in the previous one. It's like, yeah, I don't know what to do if, you know, if Bannon is not there. It's like those were his people, right?
Because I wanted to
that's
talk
why he's
about.
talking to them.
I wanted to talk about
This is also after
the fact that Trump is functionally, as far as we're concerned, he's effectively illiterate, and now maybe not fully illiterate, but like his reading comprehension isn't good. And like I had this suspicion early in because there had been so many witnesses and so many people were like, you know, Donald Trump was just like, all right, read this for me, you know, and I've read multiple books kind of surrounding Donald Trump himself from different authors and different, you know, perspectives. And it that same thing kept coming up, you know, from independent people who wrote things at different times. And so I was like, okay, well, there's something there. You know, I was like, can he read? Can he really? Can he read? You know, and
you probably can.
I mean,
but
to
the
some
understanding
extent,
is,
he
I think,
probably
the
could.
problem.
But I just, you know, hearing it coming from this the Jeffrey Epstein of all people, it's.
I mean, his best friend, one of his best friends.
Apparently,
it's not just coming from anybody, right?
All
it's
right.
like, and also like I've
I
read
didn't
these
want to touch
reports
that
about
with a 10-foot
him.
pole. Holy crap!
Yeah, yeah.
Anyway, we're going to continue the video. Here we go.
Has a sense of humor. He can be funny. He's great. What else recommends him?
His ability to sell. He is charming. He is able to convince people. It's very much like Clinton. Both Bill and Donald have the ability to go over to a fat, ugly woman, say, you are the most beautiful thing I've ever seen.
Can I just say the comparison of Bill and Donald Trump?
Yeah. Yes, I know.
In
It
hindsight,
is funny. It is really
in
funny.
hindsight, it's really. Anyway, sorry.
I mean, he knows them both really well.
Yeah.
So he tells everybody what they want to hear. Not, and then it's charming. And I'm telling you that I know 4 or 5 people who have recently seen him. I just realized we're talking, where he built the UN Plaza Trump Tower, just in Malaysia. I was going to take the top 4. I went with Donald to see it. And it was, again, you know, what you can pay me if that was 11.
Oh, so hold on real quick, right? All right. I just want to point out, I don't think that Donald Trump is a P3DO file. Right? I don't think that.
Yeah.
Because I remember that there were individual situations where I remember like he said that, you know, oh, he likes him young, referring to Epstein, maybe a little younger than I do. You know, I remember he said something like that to that effect. That in combination of that, there hasn't been any real credible evidence, save for the fact that he went on Jeffrey Epstein's plane 7 times. He's been around a lot of successful.
Like 70.
No, 7.
I'm kind of like 70%
7.
that he's not. No, I'm
Okay.
like 70% that he's not a PDF file. Okay,
yeah, a P3DO.
But I think like there's like a solid 30% that he might be, because even when he's saying he likes them younger than I do, I don't know what younger means for him. Right?
Yeah,
because I can understand what younger would mean for me.
I mean, like
not for
honestly,
him.
like if there was for me, like if it's like an 18-year-old, like that's way too young. I'm 35. I would give you a cup of hot chocolate and
What
maybe
about-
some
what
Harry
about
Potter to
13?
read and send you off to bed.
Yeah.
You know that I'd be like, go to bed. You're a little girl.
I mean, we're talking about a guy that was in his 60s and 70s when he was.
That
going
is
to-
insane. That is insane.
Yeah.
Completely inappropriate.
Well, not that old, but yeah.
Anyway,
You
let's.
gotta
We're
remember,
gonna.
these guys also had mansions in New York City too.
Yeah, we're gonna finish this off. Here
Spent
we
a
go.
lot of time there.
It's a $13 million transaction. You can pay me 11, you're recording the 13 that you give to Mall or something. It's always. So the idea that he's that bad, dirty business, he's a construction person in New York City, an electrician union, accountant. I have no idea what to think. He's not. He's a horrible human being. In Jeffrey's book, he does nasty things to his best friends' wives. Anyone who first tries to gain your trust and then uses it to do bad things. That's how it goes.
Yeah.
That about
Imagine
follows,
being
right?
called out by
Jeffrey Epstein of all people. Like, holy cannoli.
Yeah.
Oh, what am I supposed to even say about that? That's crazy. Completely crazy.
Imagine like Satan saying, "Oh my God, that guy is evil."
That was quite the video that you were showing there, Daniel. We're gonna, did y'all enjoy the stream? Honestly, this is pretty good, right? I don't know if people prefer to just hear debating. I feel like that our positions, right? They're obviously very biased. They're one-sided. I'm not afraid in saying that. That my positions are very biased and one-sided. You also have to understand that my arguments, they come from, looking at lots and lots of facts, right? And I'm glad to correct myself in instances where that what I am saying do not represent the facts, right? I have to admit, okay, yeah, I'm wrong about this. It's actually this, and then we move on from there. Right. And then I try not to make that mistake again. And so, I come to you with a biased lens. Yes. That stems from an unbiased perspective. I hope that makes sense. I try to have a more open dialogue on Thursdays, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, called The Sensible Argument. If you feel like that, you have a strong debate, you feel like you can debate a pro-trans Democrat, I'm right here. We can do it on Thursdays. I take on anybody, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Gandalf the Fett says, yet you still say the very fine people hoax. Yeah, I corrected myself in that moment, right? You posted a source that said he didn't say that the white supremacists are very fine people, but instead that he said that there's very fine people on both sides, one side containing white supremacists. So, okay, there you go. You got me.
That's a difference without a distinction.
Yeah, I've corrected myself exactly as
what are
you
both
desired.
sides then? What are both sides then?
Both sides. Very fine
not what
people
he
on
meant.
both sides. So they have to ask, what side are you referring to and why? Why would you say very fine people on
both
one of those
sides.
sides? I probably wouldn't call the white supremacists fine people. Anyway, we can. Do you want to come on up? I mean, I'll give you.
We know that he's a fan of the Proud Boys, for Christ's sake.
We are running late though. So we'll have to end it for now. But we can always have the debate on this Discord on Thursday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I do it every Thursday. And I swear a lot of people think that I would just come in super biased and just yell at you the whole time. No, you'd be surprised. I'll let you speak. I'll do what I can. Right? I'll be a good guy towards you. And I think you'd be pleasantly surprised. Hell, me and American have even had cordial discussions, and you'd be capable of doing so as well. So, I appreciate it. This is a bit of an impromptu discussion, mostly because of the elections. So, I just want to say I appreciate y'all. And if you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel, please do so, because it does help the analytics over time. And I appreciate y'all very much. I'll go ahead and link my my stuff in my stream. Hold on one second. I'm typing it. And I hope y'all enjoyed it. Me and Daniel, we both collected some clips. Honestly, that was 90% you, Daniel? That was crazy. You provided all sorts of good stuff. You got to admit, though, mine were really funny.
Were really funny. They were, indeed.
I try to bring in more humor.
Especially
I like
the last
humor
one.
more. Yeah.
The last one was amazing.
Yeah. That was That was bomb. Anyway, I really appreciate y'all very much. And I will see you on Thursday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to 9:30. And, I am out. Thank y'all.